Alright, I'm running away. Have fun.
Oh, I guess White Bay
Shit.
actually.
Go. Maybe.
Okay, for someone who has not done 6.5, I'm kind of confused.
Yep.
Yeah. There are reasons.
Is it like all the stuff right at the beginning?
Deal with, let's say, pretty crucial part. How far are you into Trom? Have you even started it?
I did Trom.
Oh, okay.
Did you read Trom?
There was a raid, okay.
I knew it. I knew it.
I was elected to lead.
I was given timer and it was holidays and I was super busy and I said fuck this shit, I'm out. It doesn't matter if it's an excuse or not. That's all you're gonna get from me.
Story. Are we? What? Sir?
Why am I still as bland as when I started?
That one just hits deep. That's just,
That one's just depressing.
yeah, it's just good right. What it boils down to.
Oh, Luke.
So creamy.
Oh, yes. Bot beat you. I know.
Oh, he.
I'm blind. Could skip this one. I requested the wrong song. Yeah. And you can too, for a low price of your soul.
Hopefully, nice easy one. Gray Arc doesn't.
Oh god damn it! I can't use radiant damage on these fucks. Yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah. I did 28 radiant damage to it, and then Minthara just took 56 force damage. God damn!
Mm-hmm.
Like 56 damage. Fuck you, game.
Fuck you too. My
Well, that was annoying.
Was it running
don't
or
stop running.
dying?
You
A
do that
little
the
bit of beat.
entire time you run? I watch you run a mile.
No, actually, it's living.
Depends on who you ask.
On CAD, you were a baseball player once upon a time. What was your position?
Pitcher. Did you
Yeah.
break anything? Did you break anything while diving? Mm.
You ever get hit in the head with a baseball?
Yes. Wh- One that you remembered?
That's a good one.
Oh,
Accidentally, or were you caught in the locker room after hours?
listen up, Leatherman.
It'd be a damn shame if something happened to this hand you used to play this sport.
I'm assuming it's from like someone hit and you threw the bat away to run, but I'm just trying to imagine from a okay. Ow. the University of Florida and go pro. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Always
is that
be
muscle?
adverse.
Yeah.
Hey, it actually always starts out one way, alright?
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
What? So you're like 6'4". What weight were you? They're like, you need to gain weight. 6'6", okay. What weight did they want you to be? 45, 250?
Wait, I'm surprised you're not that naturally with how big you are.
Yeah. And that's where they wanted you to be, I'm assuming? Percent body fat.
They wanted you to gain 30 pounds of muscle. Most guys can't do that.
Insert Harry Squatter meme.
My question is why, unless it's like...
Hello, everybody. I guess you guys get to see the surprise. That's why it took me a little bit setting up. I was actually talking with Vanko as he had just finished the piece. So he should be I say retweeting. He should be tweeting it soon. I have no idea if he'll have done it yet or if it's something he'll post when he gets the time. Anyways, this is brand spanking new, so enjoy. Vanko did a fantastic job. Vanko's also done the Pokemon piece for me before, as well as the Greek-looking piece for me. So Vanko is a fantastic artist, and when I get that Twitter link, definitely make sure you guys go retweet it, like it, follow him, give him some love. So, yep. I did get my go live tweet out already, so feel free to go ahead and give that some love in the interim. I see some of you already have. And let me grab for you guys today's sauce. Okay. Yep, we got dog day today. Okay. Alrighty, we are getting started here. As soon as I plug this in. Sorry about that. There we go, chat. It should be coming up. And here is today's artwork. Go give the artist some love. Okay. Again, like I said, sorry about that. I'm running a little bit behind. I also had to deal with my my irrigation filter, but for some reason the water pressure is just like not going well for me right now, and so my front lawn looks a little bad again. Barton, thank you for the 67. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you for the over 5.5 years. And again, welcome everybody. We are going to be rolling for Bakin shortly here. I do need to both simultaneously finish this node as well as probably do some other stuff. But this should be good enough for now. We're going to go ahead and do that. and basically just pull it in there. Mod check Gamba. Yeah, I actually don't know if anyone has run the Gamba. I know Mr. Bob, who normally runs it, is off on a night out with the boys, as he normally does on Tuesdays. My sub prices did not change. Yeah, so that's the big news right now is sub pricing basically is changing for I'm gonna say the majority of you, since the majority of my viewers are in a. This is something that we got pulled about. I think it was like last November, and there's not really anything I can do about it, right? I was part of the research group that they did ask about this for, but you know, I tried to give them feedback. I said it's not going to be perceived well. It's going to be perceived as you guys doing greedy stuff again. And sure enough, I have looked at Twitter, and that is entirely at what people are thinking of it. So it's something that I think they just were going to do no matter what anyone said, no matter what we warned them about. The sad part to me is they're still sticking with the line of that they're doing it for the content creators. We are going to get like I am going to get an increased revenue share because of this. I already get 60-40 right now with the way things work out, but basically with the increase in sub pricing, I will get more money because of that. So that's why they're sort of trying to bill it as, hey, this is for content creators. But while I think that is probably partially true, I think the real truth at large here is that Twitch, we all know, needs to become more profitable. And I think that's one of the things that they're kind of trying to do is they're trying to increase sub pricing to just increase their overall revenue. Hold on, let me reboot Aurelia as she is looking mighty choppy there. World's greediest fucks on the platform. Who would want this? Yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna say again, I think it's one of those weird issues, and I said this to VIP that like to a large degree, I think Twitch can get away with it. Why? Because everyone around them is kind of doing this sort of thing. You look across all the tech sectors, and everyone's beginning to ramp prices up. And, you know, again, you look at things like Netflix or like Amazon or whatever, and like all the changes that they're making. Can Twitch get away with it? Yeah. And so that's exactly why Twitch is going to do it. They kind of know. But I think at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that like people are going to have to decide. Like, again, you guys know my stance on this. I always tell you guys, you don't have to sub to me. I always try to make my emotes and stuff available for you guys via the bots and everything like that. So that way, if you guys want to, you can. If you guys don't want to, you don't have to. I always appreciate when you guys do. I always appreciate the support that I get from you guys, but I never want anyone to feel like they have to sub. I don't, on the flip side, it's like I want to provide benefit. And I do believe there is still beneficial value to like, okay, well, if you're sub to me, you still basically have those emotes and can use them anywhere you want, not even just on my channel. But it is one of those things where it's like, I've never really wanted to ostracize people in my community. And so Twitch kind of bumping this up, I'm sure it is going to make people more price conscious. But that's where I'm saying, I think they can get away with it because it is just $1. So most people are just going to look at that and they're just going to be like, well, whatever. And they're not going to really care too much, I suspect. Are starting to reach a breaking point price-wise. I'm going to tell you in a weird way, right? And don't make this sound like I'm defending Twitch. I'm more just trying to speak to what I assumed is Twitch's mentality on this issue. But I am going to say the $1 should not be the make or break point for most people. It's probably more or less going to be something else, something bigger, I would say, that's going to really be the breaking point for people. It's going to be things like not getting a raise, their taxes, maybe the price of gas at the pump and stuff when they have to keep driving long mileage basically to and from work. So I think that's going to be the type of stuff that's going to break people. But yes, I'm going to go ahead and just straight up tell you that with everything across the board increasing, everything is like another needle. And so we're eventually going to get to the straw that breaks the camel's back. I don't think this is it, but I do think people are beginning to just grow tired overall of the state of the economy. And I don't think this is unique to the US. I think this is worldwide. I think basically people are just like, man, fuck this shit. Inflation bad. So it is a problem. Death by 1,000 needles, death by 1,000 cuts, but yeah. Is Tom Itoman this event or a future one? He's the second banner for this event. I also did see your question earlier, but I forgot to get back to it. But our next Grail Front isn't until like basically next October, I want to say. And it is the last one to date. JP has not had another one in the interim. Fast food prices are way above inflation prices. Yeah, and I think that's an issue, right? Like, I think straight up, people are beginning to get, like, really freaking annoyed. Twitch claims they make zero profit. So, in a weird way, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, okay? Because I suspect they are liable. They are on the hook for some pretty nasty contracts with some of their like some of their more like veteran people at this point. I think some of the biggest streamers on Twitch are straight up just like sitting there with like just crazy deals that they're grandfathered in on, and it just costs Twitch so much freaking money. And I'm gonna say this, it is like do I believe that Twitch is not profitable? Yes, I do. And the reason why is because we kind of see it at every turn. Everywhere we look, we see that Twitch is sort of like struggling and trying its damnedest to like sort of squeak by and get more money. So it's not that surprising to hear that. But I do think people have some very good ideas about how to do it. And none of the ideas that like people keep offering are what Twitch does, which means that either Twitch has a set of parameters that we don't see, or that Twitch basically is a little bit like a monolith and can't like do the things that we think that should be done, right? So for instance, I've seen people say like there are other ways to monetize things. There are ways that you could increase basically benefits for people and incentivize subbing. There are ways that you could really like cut down on costs. And we actually we saw this the other day where Twitch apparently is getting rid of the entire security council that they have for streamers. If you're unsure of what that is, it was a council of people that Twitch had hired to advise them on matters for like streamer safety and inclusiveness and well-being and stuff. So sounds noble, but then you start thinking about it, you're like, why are you hiring people for this? And this is sort of the problem with a lot of like tech companies overall nowadays, is like they just throw money down the toilet like for no freaking reason. And what they announced the other day, which is a good change, is, hey, we're no longer going to have any hired people for this position. We are just going to rely on our Twitch ambassadors, which are streamers, by the way. Streamers that Twitch has approved of in order to basically fulfill that role. So it's interesting to me to see that, and then to see them be like, oh, okay, yeah, now we're going to switch to this. And it's like, that was a no-brainer from the very beginning. People were telling them, listen to your streamers. Why are you talking to these idiots over here? That when their entire job is dependent on that position, they're just going to make shit up just to have job security. Like, even if there is no issue plaguing Twitch at the moment, they're going to find something to advise you, to tell you to do it, to make you spend money on it, so that they look like they're doing something, so that they don't get canned. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, the most hilarious thing that they have done in regards to this is finally, chat, after 14, 15 years of Twitch being in existence, last year, Twitch finally, and I say last year, this was like 7-8 months ago. This was not that long ago, right? Twitch finally actually got off their ass and said, hey, streamers, you now have the option where if you have banned someone, they can't watch your stream. It's like, yeah, it's hilarious how much harassment and like doxing and shit was going on because of banned people. And it's like the second that they allowed that, all of a sudden, like all those hate raids basically stopped. You stopped hearing about like any of this like negative shit from like basically people actually harassing streamers. And I'm like, every streamer had been saying that for years. Just give us the option, let us choose. And sure enough, the second they did it, it's like a lot of their problems just went away. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? Like, you actually listen to the streamers for once, and it probably saved you a shit ton of money. You stopped having to sit there developing all this proprietary shit that you just didn't need because all you needed to do was give us a button to turn it on and off. Like, bans actually mean shit now. I mean, you can still work around it, but it is one of those things where it drastically reduced the amount that stuff was happening, right? So it is like 100% just, there are easier solutions for this than Twitch, tries to implement over the years. And usually, chat, I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever see Twitch and it's like, here is a new feature, just come ask me what I think about it. I'll tell you straight up. I will not hide it from you. And most of the time, I'm going to tell you any new feature that Twitch implements has like a 90% chance of just being bad and tone deaf. This has been the case all over. Like, and it's one of those funny things where people are like, okay, hey, maybe this was a good idea, but you just implemented it so terribly and we know you're not going to support it after the fact. So Twitch basically doesn't spend money where it actually needs to, and it wastes money like exorbitantly on a bunch of things it doesn't freaking need. So it is an issue that I think plagues Twitch. And it's why, like, when you tell me Twitch is not profitable, I'm like, yeah, I believe that. Straight up. All their actions seem to point to it. And we see all the waste and all the bloat that they do all the time. It just straight up does not feel like it is a profitable company, no matter how you look at it. So I get it. And it's one of those things where that is why they are trying to take that like bigger cut of everyone's sub revenue. They know. And they know that it's not working, and they gotta appease Papa Amazon. So, oh, sorry, I did not see the song request. Let me refund that. And Oda, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate it. I like how the conversation is serious, but then we got goober music in the background. It happens all the time. I've learned to just tune it out. But no, that's the problem with it. Twitch is just always going to be greedy, right? Straight up. 9 out of 10 times. You know that's going to be the case. So it's something that, like I said, I knew this was coming for months now. If you're wondering why I didn't tell you about it, they actually made us sign NDA. Straight up. We had to agree not to talk about it. So that was sort of the issue. Now I assume since the cat's out of the bag, I can talk about it. But this was absolutely one of those things where everyone and their brother was telling them, don't do it. It's not going to work out in your favor. Don't phrase it like that. It's not going to be perceived well. Everyone is going to blame you, that sort of stuff. So they know. They can't say that people didn't tell them, because they did. And I literally saw somebody else on Twitter was reacting to it, straight up being like, I told y'all not to word it this way. It's like, yeah, it's a thing, unfortunately. Making y'all sign an NDA is something. It kind of makes sense in this case, because price changing something is a very sensitive subject, right? And you can see that based off of how people reacted to it. The sheer amount of people that are upset about this is going to be a issue. Now, the real question is, will it go away? And I'm going to tell you, if Twitch like just shuts up and doesn't say anything else, it'll go away. If Twitch keeps flapping their gums and starts trying to defend themselves, it will not go away, and people will keep making it worse. So it is one of those issues where Twitch will actually be better served by just shutting up and sort of letting the outrage move on to something else. But if they keep going, it's just going to keep getting worse, and that is going to be the issue that they face. Twitch trying to hide a price hike incoming. Well, and to be fair, part of the reason that I think that they made us sign the NDA too was it was not set in stone what the price hike would be. They did ask us about like a couple of amounts. So that was why like we weren't sure what it was going to be. And I think they didn't want someone just sitting there constantly being like, yo, this is, you know, like we're gonna get like a 50% price increase or something like that, when they maybe weren't ever going to do that. Same with Netflix account sharing. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my coworker about this earlier today, that like he uses jailbroken Fire Sticks, which I just find freaking hilarious, because it's to the point where like I'm gonna say even most normal people I feel like are beginning to try and cut corners. They're beginning to try and get around this, because it is just unsustainable. The greed is not something that like most people can actually deal with, and it's going to require us to like put our foot down at some point. So I do think that's where things like a Twitch sub, like a Netflix account, they are luxuries. They are entertainment, but they are still luxuries, and you don't have to have them. And so I think that's like, when these companies start to get too greedy, you will see people just be like, you know what? No, I'm tired of being made a fool of. So I think it's a thing, unfortunately. I do agree with you guys though too. Like the straight up the oh, thank you. Vonko posted it. So give me a second here, chat. But I do think it is a problem that a lot of people are just gonna like eventually get tired of, and for every single person, the breaking point's gonna be at a different point. But we are reaching that point. There you go, chat. Go give the artist some love. And let me share it with you guys on the YouTube side. There you guys go. So again, this was the beginning of stream. Art piece basically that Vonko did, and it looks fantastic. I really love the way this turned out. I remember when I was working with him, we had some initial like, the way that she was sitting was a little awkward, and I asked Vonko to tweak it, and he did, and it came out wonderfully. I really like how he managed to do this. The new 3-star C's art is marvelous. It is. Not gonna lie, I thought my wife was gonna cancel our Netflix subscription back in 2022 because they had like nothing, but she kept it, brand loyalty, I guess. Yeah, I think it's one of those deals where like it's a hassle to try and cancel, and if you truly don't have a replacement, some people will keep it. But I think there will reach a point where people go, no, enough is enough, and I'm done. Right? Like, and that's what I'm saying. That differentiation is going to be, it's going to happen at different points for people. but people will begin to like just say no, enough is enough. And to a large degree, chat, we already see this with Hollywood. We see it with movie theaters. Like, this is a big chunk of why people don't want to go to the movies. The movies getting made are not things that people agree with or are interested in, and the experience is super expensive compared to how it used to be. So a lot of people just said, no, I don't need it. I'll wait until it like comes to either pay-per-view or like Netflix or something like that. And you're going to see it on the flip side again, where a lot of people are just going to start turning to piracy, and it's just going to be a thing. And you're going to see them try to crack down on piracy, and it's just going to create more pirates. That's all it's going to do. It's just going to make piracy evolve, because again, it's a service issue. Always has been. Gaben had that 100% right. Piracy happens because people are fed up with the product and the way it is being offered to them. If they can't access it, if they can't get it in their area, if they straight up go, no, this is scummy and scamming, they will pirate it like 10 out of 10 times. And it's really funny. And it's something I think that's been proven too, that the reverse of it being that when you provide a good service, people don't pirate. A lot of the times people will actually support you. They will go out of their way to do so because they feel like you're doing a good job and they want you to be the example. So it's really funny to see that people are like, no, man, like we will not only punish you, but we will also reward you. And it really just boils down to you doing the right thing. There's a game that I'm unable to purchase in my country, so I'm left with no other choice. Right. Yeah, and I like I said, I don't blame anyone for doing that. Many companies straight up won't let me buy their product from them. Yeah, and I've said, I often wonder, because I see a lot of people be like, oh, it's the company that's evil. And I'm like, now hold on, right? At least to be fair to the company, in some cases, it's not necessarily a company issue. It's more or less a like legal issue with the country. For instance, some countries just have extremely punishing laws or extremely like high licenses and tariffs and things like that. So I get it, right? Like I can understand a company going like, hey, I'm sorry, I just don't want to go in there. So it's not always on the company, but it is always a service issue, one way or the other, right? No matter who is at fault, no matter who's really causing it, it's still a service issue. And that's kind of the ultimate takeaway from it, is that it's either the laws that are in place or the company making a bad choice. And I still think like it's on the company at least a little bit to try and work through it with the individual companies. But I understand that it gets like probably cumbersome to do so with, you know, God, however many different countries are out there. Chat, is it like 200 something countries? There's also the fact that some shows, etc., won't be shown until a year later. Yeah, I don't really understand that one either. Other than like they couldn't get the rights, quote unquote. But like some of it just feels really weird to me. Hello, Avalon. How's it going? The game is available here, but then Epic pulled it from the store 4 months ago and never put it back. Yeah, you guys know my stance on this. I just don't like it. Since you saw the new Mana Prism C, what's your opinion on being able to adjust bond point gain to various traits? Are you talking about... oh, wait, yeah, hold on. So JP just had a recent one, and I did not look at what it is. I'm sorry, chat. Let me quickly go look. I assume it's another trait one based off that question. Yeah, it's the Gordolf one. So the Gordolf one is lawful good alignment, bond point increased by 20%, which is... There's a lot of like lawful good people. I'm gonna say that's strong, but only if you want to bond up one of those people. It certainly could be a thing. For instance, you might have some overlap with lawful good and animal characteristics. Let me see if that would be one. Yeah, bunny is not considered to be that. And that was the only reason why I was looking, is because like I'm sure to some degree there is an overlap between lawful good and animal characteristics, and when that overlap occurs, that is a shit ton of bond. That is absolutely insane. So is that good? Yes. It's situationally good though. So it's not going to be good for everyone, but it's still probably worth purchasing in that regard. Because if you think about it, a lot of your craft essences are situationally good. But I still think it's probably better than the like 2.5% Cs. I think they kind of realized, because I'm sure a ton of people stopped buying the 2.5% ones. And I think they went like, all right, yeah, this ain't working. And so I think when that sort of thing happened, that a lot of people just went like, nah, it's not worth. Like I think the devs basically just took a look at the results and said like, we need to refocus our efforts. It's still not what I would prefer from a Bond C, but I'm okay with it. I still think it's solid. It's 20% to lawful good. It covers 85 servants. That's good. It's very good. I disagree. And hear me out. Like, it's situationally good. The reason why is I can go out there and I can buy the 10%, or I can, take the 15%, and it applies to everyone. So, like, is it better? Yes, but only for those 85. And I'm going to tell you right now, you probably don't care. Not for the units you already have. This is more an investment in, what if I pull another lawful good? And will you pull another lawful good? Probably. Like, again, there's already 85 servants in the game this way. It stands to reason that there will be another. So in that regard, yes, bonding it up is going to be really nice. And certainly maybe you do have like higher bond goals for some of your other units. That can also be a thing too. Just keep in mind the whole aspect between like, hey, do you want to like bond the unit up completely, but then you're being inefficient with bond? Or do you want to just like get the unit up to like bond 5 or bond 6, get that maybe like append unlocked, or like get them with their strengthening quests and stuff unlocked, and then just leave them there? So these are sort of the different schools of thought on the issue. As an Artillery enjoyer, it's good for me. Yeah, certainly. I mean, like, in that regard, it's absolutely going to help me bond up my Artorias faster. But in a weird way, do I want to bond my Artorias faster? Not really. I want to keep being able to use them. So it's kind of interesting, because I do believe that the devs are going to keep throwing bonding Cs at us, because one, it's what players seem to want, and two, because it also fulfills their goal of making you bond up the unit, which sort of then makes you go like, oh crap, I'm not being efficient, maybe I should roll someone else. So I think it's like, it's kind of this insidious plan of theirs, but it is what it is. What do you think about a C that drains half of the bond gain to the servant holding the C? That sounds terrible. Why would you want that? If we talk about the problems with bonding too fast, bonding too slow would just be worse. What I will say is, and what I assume you're getting at, is the concept that I've talked about before, where it's like you have overflow bond. And so like, let's say this unit is at bond 15. They actually give their bond to the other units in the party instead of getting any themselves. Yeah, I'd be A-okay with something like that. I think that would be amazing. And I think that would be meta as fuck. On the other hand, you could have a non-lawful good support DPS who is approaching bond max, and the C would let you target bonus bond on servants only while normal bond on the one you're approaching bond limit for. The reason this is stopping to make me think is because I don't like that logic. And the reason I don't like that logic is because you're still bonding that unit. So it's like, I know what you're trying to say, but this is in a, like, it's weird because it's in a scenario in which you think like, man, but I just really need to bond this one unit up. I actually have one of those scenarios right now on an A, and I've talked with you guys about this, right? So like, if we actually go look at my mate altar, I straight up have to get them to bond 11 in order to be able to finish grailing her to 120. Okay, so you guys can see she's at 121. She's well on her way. She'll probably be done by this event being over. But like, this is a rare thing. Usually you don't want to do this. Usually you don't want to fast track someone's bond, at least not beyond those first couple bond levels. So while I understand it for the purposes of things like coins and stuff, I'm also going to say that I desire a system where this is not the solution. Like where you don't have to like just, you know, bond your unit pretty much to like max bond so that you can finally like max out their stats. Because at that point, then you go like, all right, cool, I maxed them. Now go sit on the shelf over here while I admire you and never use you. I don't think that's a good idea, right? And like I said, maybe I'm being weird here because I'm putting as much of an emphasis as I am on efficiency and trying to like make sure that my units stay usable with efficiency overall. Some people don't care. Some people will take their unit to bond 15 and they will just keep using them regardless. And that's perfectly fine. If you're one of those people, hats off to you, but I'm also going to say then you also probably don't need the bond accelerant either, because you're just going to keep using the same unit over and over and over again. But it is what it is, right? Like there's just different schools of thought on this sort of thing. For me, I get it, but I would prefer that they just fix coins, right? Because that to me is probably the big reason why a lot of people low key just want to bond a lot. I understand that people are also after quartz, but I'm gonna be real with you. The quartz that you get from bonding, well, it does add up over time. It is usually not going to be the make or break thing on any given banner for you. It's very complicated. It's a nuanced subject. It's something that I think, again, people have different opinions on, and it depends entirely on the status of your account. So, what about a bond capsule system? Where excess bond turns into capsules that you can use on other units. So you're thinking almost like blue apples, but for bond. I mean, I guess to a degree, right? Like I'd be okay with that, but I also think the devs would not want that because people would hoard it and they would absolutely bomb it. To a degree, that's kind of why they also time gate the teapots, is they don't want to allow that. So. To make Doggo Cam extra large as Catalyst. You know, it's funny because doggos have been acting kind of weird today. I feel like they've heard doggo too much. You can see them. They're just lying there all sleepy. Now they're stirring. It's funny too because they basically just like lie next to each other and lie like into each other. They already regret baffles, right? And that's my point. Is do I think that system would be good for the player? Absolutely. For the devs, no, absolutely not. I don't think the devs will ever allow something like that. It's also why, like I've said, I would prefer an overflow type system where eventually it would just be a thing of like, well, you got to use somebody else at some point. But again, that would also sort of accelerate things, and you could skew that to like bonding up 1 or 2 units really fast. I don't know, right? I couldn't tell you whether or not the devs would ever allow something like that. But I do think it would work better than whatever hodgepodge we have now. So I think for me personally, I would like to see them go from bond 15 to bond 20. And I would like to see them basically do bond overflow. I think if you allow those two things, the system gets a lot better. I still want to see a coin fix besides that, but that would also at least somewhat alleviate the coin issue. So I just don't think, like, I think just allowing the expansion to bond 20 on its own with no other changes would not be a good coin fix. I think you would have to do something else, like, you know, the capsule thing you talked about, or again, some sort of overflow, some sort of ability to fast track for it to actually like matter for people in terms of like, hey, now I can go to bond 16 and now I can get more coins from that. Yeah, sure, that's going to be great, but you shouldn't have to go all the way to that point in order to be able to like 120 a unit. So, like always, it's a balance, right? Bond 2018 finally. I'm sure people would want that, but I don't know that the devs will ever allow anything like that. Anyways, we're gonna be getting started here. I'm gonna be rolling for Bakin. She's doggo, so like that's sort of the issue here. Is Bakin's very cute. She's got the 8 dog warriors that basically are. Chat is putting a gun to my head and saying you will roll for the doggo waifu because you have doggos, and chat is not wrong. So we are going to do this because we can, not because we have to. At that point, I have had people ask me, how many copies am I going for? I don't know. We'll let things go as they are. I am going to say though, I have seen everybody get very lucky on this banner, which entirely tells me that I will not, because I am usually the polar opposite of whatever the community is. So since the community has been very lucky, I just assume I'm going to pity. DMT, thank you for the follow. Missed Gamba again, indeed. Reverse psychology, eh? No, I mean, that's just pretty much been my experience. Usually, not every time, but usually I am the opposite of what everybody else does. It's like either chat's luck is sacrificed for me or I sacrifice my luck for chat. Archer. It's Tomato. Oh. Wrong 5-star Buster Archer. Well, chat, remember how I said that my luck was going to be the polar opposite of chat's? It's begun. It's funny too, because didn't he spook me not that long ago, chat? Like, I think that's like NP3 of him now. It's still an SSR in like 5 rolls, yeah, but it's not the one I was after. Don't get me wrong, I'll take it. I ain't gonna complain too much about it, but it be what it be. He wants to be a USO bad. Maybe. I mean, there's a system that needs to be fixed, right? Like, everyone always complains about the pity system, but I think it's mostly because people have just given up on USOs at this point. EZO coins. That I will take. That is like low-key a nice thing from this, because getting 3-star limited coins can be a little bit annoying at times. He spooked you on the Charlie banner, yeah, which is wild because like I eventually had to just like buck up and roll him after years of him being out, and he had never spooked me. So it's really funny to like I rolled 1 copy and now he appears to just be showing up in spades. The fuck is an USO? So the translator's note would tell you that USO means lie in Japanese. that's what a USO is. It is a lie. Didn't get lucky one, Saint Courts. Didn't get Doggo Girl. I'm sad dog. Understandable. This is one of the best event 3-star arts. Yeah, no, I love it. It's just really cute. It's difficult to see because you have the text over the top of it, but like you also have like the little corgi down there, basically like going balls out. USO system is needed fix. I agree. I think it's something that like the way it currently is, I guess, is okay, but only if we have a robust pity system, and otherwise I think it absolutely needs a change. If they do fix the pity system and make it more robust in replacement, I guess I'm okay with USOs existing as they are. Chat doesn't bother us to full screen. Well, it's because I have to keep going. Chat expects rolls. They get impatient. They're out for blood. They're like a dog, you know, on a leash, seeing a bone. USO like things in other games, but it's usually the whale option instead of rolling something. Yeah, I mean, I would say in most of those it is here you go, chat. So again, you're gonna have to like change your head. You're gonna have to crane your neck there, but the art is fantastic. Watch them allow you to trade 1 USO for 90 SSR coins. I don't know that would work either. Like, that's the other problem, is when you start thinking about changing the USO system, it may be somewhat impossible for them to change, because any change that they make, they would have to like retroactively like compensate anyone that had spent their USOs. So I'm just gonna say that might put them on the hook for quite a bit. And like, what do you do for the people that like quite literally have NP5 of every unit in the game? What are you giving them? Like, they don't care. So it's just going to be one of those things where they would just be like, what the hell, man? At that point, those USO spenders deserve it. Wait, what? Deserve what? Deserve to get nothing? So chat, I understand the like divide between like whales and free to plays, but I will say this: while people can be like overly smug and assholish because they spend a lot on the game, you should, I'm not going to say that like you have to like treat that person with respect, but you should always at least respect the fact that the whale is who is funding the game. Straight up, right? Like, the free to plays do not actually fund the game. They are not who keeps the lights on. It's important to still have free to play players, especially like when you start talking community concerns and stuff like that. But it is the whales that keep the lights on. Like, the whales are straight up who fund the new anime coming out and stuff like that. So it is important at least to recognize that. It's a single player game, so there's no reason to hate whales. Yeah, you just hate shitty people, right? Like, that's the truth of the matter. Anyone can be an asshole, whale or free to play. So I fund the game with Twitter retweets. I am sure that Twitter users wish that they actually made money off of that stuff. I'm sure like the biggest accounts on Twitter do, but like I'm gonna say like almost nobody in the FGO like directory actually does. Like nobody in that, I say directory, that's the term I use for streaming, but nobody in like the FGO like Twitter community actually really makes any money off of it, despite what they may claim. So get a few million followers and you can make some bank on retweets. Yeah, but yeah, it's to me that's like they wish. Every 100 retweets is a cent. Oh no, like, again, you wish. That would actually be worth something. It's not even that good of a rate. Every time you whale, you're performing a community service. I don't know about that. It's just one of those things, again, where, like I said, like, you shouldn't necessarily just hate whales. It's it quite literally, it is a free to play game. So sorry, a single player game. I use my entertainment budget on FGO because it's a fun game and I want waifu. Understandable. Well, look, waifu. Well, at least we got the Legold CE. Blame Tesla guy. Listen, chat, all I'm pointing out is we didn't YOLO with tickets, so I'm content with my dolphin status. And you should be. I feel like in a weird degree, dolphin is like sort of the best way to play the game. You don't have to struggle bus nearly as often as the free-to-play player, and you're also just not like, you know, throwing your entire future away like the whales are. Mr. Cad, I did not mean whales deserve to get wrecked. They should be getting USO compensation at that point. Okay. Yeah, and I know I went off on a tangent, but do you need Lobos, Cad? Do I need Lobos? No, I have plenty of Lobos. I've always been in the dolphin tier, not really whale. It's really funny because, like, you know, you guys know, like, I have spent a shit ton of money on this game, especially back in the day. Nowadays, in terms of FGO, I certainly spend money on it, but I I don't really have to roll non-new banners anymore, especially with all the saber faces at MP5. So like it is way more my prerogative, and it really just boils down to, are we getting a new unit? If yes, then I might roll. If no, then I'm probably not rolling. So it really just ends up like curtailing quite a bit of the spending I have to do on the game. Once you get far enough ahead, it kind of, allows you to not have to spend as much. Cat is digivolved into a dolphin. No, because like I would still say I'm 100% a whale. Like I will straight up just like haul out the wallet at a moment's notice and just go to town. But it's just a case of I already have so much that I usually don't have to do it as often as I used to have to. Bearded Amish guy, thank you for the 39. If you don't need Lobos, I'll take those coins. I still need 4 more copies for his last append. Oof. Yeah, I've gotten quite a few Lobos over time, but I do not need them. Also, if I didn't say it earlier, DMT, thank you for the follow. Cat is late stage whale. Yeah, that's like low key. The way to think about it is like I'm just at the point where I don't have to whale as often anymore. Which is funny because like if anything, my spending habits on JP have increased over time. But we'll see, right? Like because I'm probably going to be aiming for like a high MP level of Draco, but after Draco, I'm sure we'll have like summer and anniversary coming up this year, and then after that, like I don't know. I don't know when the next time I'll spend on JP will be. They'll have to actually release something new and tantalizing because like there's a ton of the oh god. Well, we got Zerk scope there. JP free to play to Dolphin. Yeah, my JP is more or less Dolphin. But that's all I'm saying. Is like they have to come out with new stuff. At the current point in time, my JP account is solid. It does not like, especially if I get Draco online and running, it won't need anything else. Like it has every niche covered, everything it could possibly have. So I don't know, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you guys, but it's going to be one of those deals where it's like my JP account does not need to whale. And since it, I guess, is at the point of being sort of like I still play it like it's a main account, but it is functionally my test account. It is for playing on the JP server so that I can obviously, as a content creator, inform you guys of things that are happening ahead of time. But I mean, I'm not going to really have to spend much more money on it, if at all. So that it might very well transition back towards free to play, where like maybe the only thing I do is like the GSSR or something. If you just spend on GSSRs, what are you considered? So a ton of people would tell you you are not free to play if you spend on any money on the game. I'm of the opinion that you are still functionally a free to play if all you do is buy a GSSR, because while you might get like 1 or 2 more units a year from that, it's basically going to be the case of you still don't have like all the other things like getting spooked, getting a ton of CEs and stuff, as if you had spent a ton of money on the game and actually rolled. So to me, you're just more like a lucky free to play is all it really feels like. But again, a lot of people will define that purely by your spending habits. I just choose to look at it as of the capabilities of an account. And you can have free to plays that have more capability than Dolphins. Like, for instance, chat, even if we were to go back like 3 or 4 years, my JP account back in its like GSSR only infancy still could beat the pants off of several higher spending accounts, purely because I know how to play my account. I know how to min-max it. So like my account was very well taken care of. So it was one of those deals where like, yeah, I think the biggest determinant in FGO is just, do you play the game? There are a ton of people that don't want to have to play the game, and their account usually struggles because of it. Free to play with an asterisk. Yeah, maybe that's a way to think about it, right? Am I going to go for Arcuid? Yeah, I haven't determined like how deep I'm going to go. NP5 is certainly on the table, but I may just roll like 2 copies or something like that. So it'll depend. The reason why I say that is because like I am planning to NP5 at least one of the summer units. So, and I am planning to get at least two of the summer SSRs, and we'll see about the third. So. My wife is free to play, but she does GSSR with my Valentine's Google Play gift card each year. Yeah, I think if you're going to spend any money on the game, you do it at the GSSR. The GSSR is just the best bang for your buck. You get the most for the least. So to me, that's what I always tell you guys is like, do that. Boom, there you go. Like if you're going to spend anything, make it that GSSR. But outside of that, like, and the way you could also think about it too is like this is a live service game that you're playing constantly. You can think about it like from the entertainment value standpoint of like, well, what if you were buying video games, right? So spending that like, you know, $30 a year for two like GSSRs is really not that bad. That's not that huge of a cost. Yo and Ezo, yep. We're getting a ton of them at least. Chat, this feels dry already. That Napoleon was cursed. What? You basically get a visual novel every time a new story chapter comes out. Right. Yeah, like FGO in and of itself is actually pretty good bang for its buck. I don't blame people for playing the game more free to play because of that. I saw a comment on an FGO video the other day to the tune of "what a waste of money." It is what it is. I think like some people derive a lot of like enjoyment and value out of having a good robust account. Where that value is determined, or it depends for everybody, right? FGO definitely feels pretty friendly to a free to play low. So it's really funny because you guys saw, like, I had that tweet the other day where I was talking about like the perception of FGO and whether or not FGO needs to change. And just to quickly summarize for anyone that may be watching this on the other side of things, basically, I'm of the opinion FGO actually does need to change. Every once in a while, I see people that'll like try to gaslight and claim that like FGO doesn't have any issues. And, like FGO is perfectly fine, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, you were just gaslighting if you think that. Like, FGO is not a perfect game. It has its issues. The devs are not perfect people. They're not gods. And so they do make mistakes. But in that regard, I still really love this game. I still think it's a great game. And I think a lot of the time people have a tendency to like over compare to other gacha games, whereas FGO is somewhat unique. But I don't know. Like, to me, FGO is still like something that's fairly solid, and it is something that you don't have to spend money on. You can, you cannot. It's totally up to you. But I see people all the time, and like when I made that comment, like I had tons of people chiming in and being like, oh no, FGO is perfectly fine, or hello Lobo, or again like oh no, FGO sucks. There's so much wrong with it. Like here's what it does bad. And you read the comments and you're just like, this person does not play the game. For instance, I straight up saw people saying that FGO needs story skip. And I'm like, here's your sign. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. You clearly do not play the game if you think FGO needs story skip at that point. So like, it is a thing. And yeah, I don't know, right? Like maybe they mean like a term of like catching up or something. Maybe they just didn't like voice it well. Regardless, you see all sorts of comments and you're like again, like people will say like, oh, it's not free to play friendly. It doesn't like take care of new players. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's quite literally free to play friendly. So it's always been weird to see a lot of the misconceptions that kind of circle about FGO. Part of it's from people that only slightly get into it and then, you know, stop playing. The other part of that is from people that just have an axe to grind because, you know, they, I don't know, maybe got fucked in the gacha, you know, 5 years ago, and they still hold a grudge. So it is what it is. I think, like I've said before, it's something that I think the devs need to like come up with a way to like begin to turn people's heads again and get their eyes back on the game. And I think it'll do the game wonders if they can manage to do that. But it is a dev issue. It's not necessarily an us issue. Like, we can defend the game, but at the end of the day, like, people are going to believe what they want to believe about it. So, and to a degree, like, everyone basically ends up hating every gacha game, to like, at least to some level. So, for clarity's sake, story skip is just a dialogue box that explains what happened when you skip. No. You want to know why I'm saying no to that, White? You weren't the person that wrote the comment, so you're just assuming. You're assuming you know what they meant. I don't know what they meant. They could have meant any number of things, because I believe they specifically mentioned like cutscenes, and I was like, yeah, this is not Genshin Impact. So, new plays, pick waiver. Huh? Whatever floats your goat. One of the biggest problems new free-to-plays will have is waiting to get your hands on the meta supports. For JP especially, we got no idea when, say, Castoria will appear next. Yeah, but I mean, usually we're talking like 6 months at worst, right? Because, and I'm going to say this again, you don't have to have Castoria. You don't have to have, like, any specific unit. It's just, obviously, getting them makes your life better. You will, within a 6-month period, see a meta support go by. At minimum, at least one. And so you can have that opportunity to grab it. Hello, Zhang. I clearly haven't rolled my FP for the week. But so, like, it is one of those things. But, yeah, I mean, I think, like, this kind of goes with any gacha game. You do have to have, like, some level of patience for the banners that are, like, truly strong. This is just always the case. The deal is, in just about every other gacha game, people just YOLO. People just, like, go now. And it's like, every gacha game is getting to the point of getting, like, predatory and trying to, like, force players and be like, you will roll every unit. Every unit must be interesting and good and power creep. And like, that's sort of the issue that I see across a lot of them. And to a degree, like, part of that's perpetuated by the community. No. I don't care if that is a catalyst. I'm skipping it. No. You're all good, B. I waited a year to try again on Castoria and then missed her on when I missed her on the first time. Yeah, like, and that's all I'm trying to say. It's not that players can't get a new unit. It's basically, if you get, like, stuck and determined that you only want, like, say, like, Castoria, you will miss so many other good units going by, right? Only refunding reset the countdown. So, I'm sorry, Jay, but I can't do anything about that. If they cut the pity amount by, like, 1/3, I probably wouldn't complain about the gacha overly much. Cut it by 1/3 or cut it to 1/3, because I've seen a ton of people say that they should cut it to 1/3. I'm not going to say they couldn't lower pity, but and this is the explanation I've given a lot of people that I think most people don't think about. So, with regards to FGO, and I know this is never a popular thing, and every time I say this, I always get people that are like, no, you're wrong. But again, this is why I say this, is I think a lot of people don't look at the economy of the game. What do I mean by that? How many rewards do you get? How much is that, like, that is an actual currency that you can spend in the gacha? And as a result of getting those rewards, how many free rolls do you have a year? Low key, that does determine where they need to set pity. Now, hear me out. Could they set pity lower? Sure. Here's the problem with that. The lower they set pity, the more they're going to need to curtail those rewards. And so like people aren't going to be happy when they suddenly just start getting chokeholded and don't get any free courts or tickets. So it's a problem, right? Like I think you would start to see them totally restructure the game at that point. Could they lower it some without a huge impact? Probably. But that's where I've also said, like, at that point, rather than do something like that, I would prefer to see them expand the pity system. And what do I mean? I don't mean like increase the amount it takes to hit pity. I'm saying like give the pity system more bells and whistles. I'll take that over, hey, let's lower pity. Because to me, that makes more sense and it probably is more beneficial to the players long term. I'd prefer it at like 600. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, would that sound great to everybody? Sure. I think everyone would prefer it at 600. It's just one of those deals where I think a lot of people will not consider the devs angle on this sort of thing. And I'm not saying, oh, won't somebody please think of the devs? I'm saying you need to think like the devs to understand why they won't do that. Right. It's basically when you start thinking like them, you start realizing that they would quite literally have to like stranglehold a lot of the like free shit they give out. And I don't think they want to do that because I think they know that would, like, in a weird way, people wouldn't realize it's connected and they would just get pissed about it. So they'd be like, yay, pity, but why are we not getting any courts anymore? God, oh, and they would start to get like really upset with the devs. Kind of hard to disagree on pity applying to more than a copy. Why? Why? Like, and this is the weird thing I've always found about FGO. Why does pity only apply to one copy? To me, that's actually one of the scummiest things about it. Like, you go into basically any other game, and pity goes beyond the first copy. It's only an FGO. And the whole reason why is because they still want that possibility of like, y'all remember the horror stories of like 45,000 courts for an SSR? That's what they're banking on. They're banking on, now there's no more pity. There's no more safety net. You could get fucked. So. And I think the reason why I say this too is because even if you start thinking about it from a free-to-play standpoint, I have had many a free-to-play ask me, would you basically allow a pity system to apply to other levels? Because at that point, like, I would roll for an NP2 even as a free to play. There are units that people like and they have flat out said like they would be happy to roll more for, but they basically won't if there is no pity. They just will wait for another banner because they know there always will be another. And I don't disagree with that mentality. I think to a large degree, allowing it to apply upward to additional copies probably would actually earn the devs more money in the long run, rather than people always playing it safe. Sorry, Chad, I just have to switch my account here real fast. So I'm not saying it from like a, hey, let's give kickbacks to the whales. I am saying this in a, this is a quality of life for everybody mentality. And I am saying it because it doesn't have to just be that too. What do I mean? Well, I also think that pity should carry over. This is what I mean when I say more bells and whistles, chat. The pity system is bare bones. We have barely a functioning pity system in this game. And I think the other thing to consider too, chat, is that your odds of actually hitting pity are quite low. So expanding pity to higher higher amounts of units rolled, I don't think is a bad idea. Sorry, chat, it's asking me to verify. This happens every time I actually like log into my my account on my other phone. Okay. Oh, there was an error while purchasing quartz. That's whack. And that okay, FGO. That's a first. I've never seen it say, hey, we put the quartz in your account, then say there was an error, put the amount back to 6, and then I backed out of the banner and it put the amount back up. Anyway. What's your most expensive unit? Made Alter? Yeah, Made Alter at 4,700. It was not a pretty sequence of rolls. They need a better indicator if it rolls over, otherwise I lose track with YOLOs and stuff. Oh no, I agree. Like don't get me wrong, chat. I believe even the interface for tracking your rolls is pretty piss poor right now. So it's like, I am happy we have pity. I will never begrudge the fact that we have it. Because I'm somebody that had to wail before pity existed, and I got fucked by it my fair share of times. So believe me when I say that I will never be upset over the fact that pity is set at 900 in that regard. Just the fact that it exists already saves my bacon. But I still think it can be better, right? And I think the community gets overly focused on the amount and not, hey, can we actually just have this like straight up be more quality of life? I think that would actually serve everybody a lot better if it did. A lack of common information is the norm for FGO. So you're not wrong, Prophet. And I mean, this is going to sound rich coming from me, but I truly believe it's because most people don't actually watch the content creators for FGO. And in a lot of cases, even the content creators have a lack of knowledge. So it is a thing. I don't know what to do about it. I've spent years trying to educate the community, but some people don't like me. Some people I can't reach. It just is what it is. So I can't make people watch my stream. They already have the ability to track rolls across banners. Yeah. Oh no, they 100% know. So like it's not can they? It's will they. It's never a they can't do this. They absolutely can. Curse you split rate up SR banners. Yep. I've only hit pity once, and that was the first Oberon banner. Hey, consider yourself lucky. I have unfortunately hit pity. Oh man. I think I've hit pity like 7 or 8 times now. Like it is a frequent occurrence for me, but I also roll frequently. So that is why, right? The more you roll, the more likely it is to happen. That was the only unit I ever wailed on. Yeah, and I think that that's also something to say that like pity, and I've talked about this before, that pity can be in a weird way, like it's good for the player because you can secure getting the unit that you want, but having pity also is good for the developer because it will actually make some people pull out the wallet. So I can't tell you how many times I have talked to like a friend, especially pre-pity. Gold orbs finally. Raida? Let's go. We getting bacon bits up in here. So finally we got Bakin. So this is the 300 roll. All right, we're like on average, like no 4 stars, but we're like on well, no, I'm sorry, we did get blue doge. We got a second blue doge. So okay, yeah, like we're still a little bit behind on 4 stars, but this is still pretty close to average, so I'll take it. Actually, if you consider Napoleon, we're above average, so it is what it is. But no, sorry. The thing that I was going to talk about was that having talked with plenty of my friends pre-pity system, I can flat out tell you that there is a point that people will hit where they will say, I will not spend any more money. I will not roll any more of my currency. I will refuse because there is no guarantee that I actually get the unit. And I agree. I 100% agree with that mentality. So the second you actually get a pity system in place, there is a point where the player can go like, for instance, with FGO, it's set at 900. There's a point where the player can go like, man, I only had 750 quartz and I threw everything and I didn't get what I want. But if I just buy a pack, I can get it. So pity actually can make people pull out the wallet. And it's really funny. It's actually a large part about what you see with like MiHoYo's systems is MiHoYo doesn't give you a lot of currency. So as a result, it is somewhat frequent that a player will, especially if they fail the 50-50, have to actually go to hard pity. That does often get them to actually spend money on the game. So in a weird way, low pity actually can be a trap. It can actually force players to spend money because usually the economy of a low pity game is very like choked. They do not give you a lot of the currency. So that's kind of how they manage to make it happen. And I'm not going to say FGO is like the most generous gacha game or anything like that imaginable, just that it is more generous than most gacha games that I have seen. I'm not going to say that there isn't one out there that is more generous than it, though. I'm sure there probably is. Particularly the less popular gacha games usually have a tendency to be way more generous with their currencies that they give out because they have to attract players somehow. So it tends to be a thing. But again, like, I do think that is sort of the like weird thing that like pity works to your advantage as the player, but it also can be something that can incentivize you to spend money. It is something that can actually get you to say, you know what, I would have never whaled otherwise, but since I know I can get the unit, let's go for it. And the packs don't give many pulls. Yeah, that too. Yeah, a pack in FGO gives you 5.5 multis, a max pack. So like, it's a pretty okay rate. I still remember, was it Arc Knights or whatever, that like the packs were very overpriced and did not give a lot. I chat, don't scream at me if I'm wrong about that, because again, I've never played Arc Knights, but I seem to remember it was one of those where people were deeply upset over the amount of actual like currency they managed to get out of it. Any opinions on USOs? Yes, USO is lie. USOs are trash. I think they've always been a bad system, but I also think that they have a very difficult time trying to fix that system nowadays. Because, like, again, anything that they try to do to change that system technically has to apply retroactively to all the people that have used the system prior. And there are people that have done tons of redemptions from USOs. So which one wins now? Bakin was at 286, so below 300. Yes, below 300 wins. Or they don't use units as their money maker, I hear, with Azure Lane. Yeah, there's definitely other ways of monetizing a system. And that's what I've said before, too, is like, in a weird way, if FGO ever had like this, like, oh, well, we're not making enough money, we can't give you more generous pities and stuff like that. I'm like, fucking put skins in the game. Actually sell skins. FGO players would go nuts. We are literally begging for skins. And we are begging for things like Live 2D. So if they actually did it with FGO units, people would go insane. Like people would straight up just start wailing like crazy. That's how League is alive? Yeah. Just imagine, chat. Like, due to inflation, one day you too can have a $500 skin in your game. Do you think they need to do any quality of life improvements to Story Banner? I would like it if they would, but do they need to? I don't know. I think need is relative at that point. Like, the system works the way it is right now. But I will say that, you know, conventional wisdom is just don't roll story because it doesn't have rate ups. I think I would like to see at least something to the effect of story having different rotational pools throughout the year. And that might help people's desire to roll for it, but I don't know. $500 Nightingale skin with live 2D. All right, but drawn by redrop or drawn by the original artist? like are we talking trick or treatment, or are we talking Nightingale's original design? I think they could easily give occasional free story only multis. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you that would just make Story's reputation even worse. Most people would just be like, there's definitely no reason to ever roll it now because you get free multis. And the Story banner is just kind of meh. But, I mean, I guess it'd be nice because there are some rare units in Story. I think that's the biggest argument to fix something like the Story banner comes from the idea that Story units are effectively worse than limited units at this point. Because they functionally are limited units that just get less banners. Daily rotation on Story would be good enough. Yeah, I mean, you could almost do class rate ups, right? Like, you could sit there and be like, all right, today is Friday, it's caster day. And if you roll that, boom, there you go. A $1,000 Lartoria costume. Listen, I spent more than $1,000 trying to get Lartoria, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And that sounds awful for me to say, right? I don't hope that they would ever do anything like that. But would I actually do it? If it was worth $1,000, fuck yeah. Yeah, if it was that good. Like, give me some chromas, some live 2D, give me like a sweaty swimsuit ascension, give me like a hentai scene with it. Yeah, I'll shell out $1,000. That shit better somehow hold me at night after the gacha fucks me. That's right. The gacha fucks you, and then it doesn't hold you, because your kink is that it straight up is just gonna stare at you disapprovingly. And it will refuse to touch you because it will find you disgusting. Only person who can decide if something is worth buying is that person themselves. Yeah, exactly. It calls you a cab to send you home, but I'm at my home. Get out. Don't need segs because we got gacha to fuck us? Exactly. How much do skins usually cost in other games? So, oh man, you want to talk philosophic about this, chat? I need to start like doing like a podcast or like a video series just talking about game design philosophy. Because, like, God, there is just some, like, stupid stuff out there. Like, again, should a skin in a game cost $20? I'm of the opinion that fuck no, it shouldn't. Especially the more players of the game you have, the skin should actually be cheaper because you are making bank off of that. It costs you nothing once you have created the skin. It is purely, like, profit after that point. So I'm of the opinion that like the good pricing for a skin is somewhere in the $1 to $10 range, and $10 better be damn good. I believe $5 is the sweet point for a skin, especially because you are not getting a new unit. You are getting an augmentation to an already existing unit. It's like a skin should never cost more than the game itself in theory, unless it's truly a free-to-play game. But tell Nikkei that each skin is like $50. Yeah, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you those skins are not worth it. Like, I have said this before, I will say it again. Chat, if you play one of these games, don't take it the wrong way. But it is much easier to just go look at Rule 34 of the skin. Okay? I'm sorry, it's the truth. Really, of the game at that point. If you're only playing a game because you find the unit hot and you don't enjoy the gameplay, straight up, just save yourself some time, some money, heck, even some energy, right? You'll have energy to spare. and just go, you know, whack the salami to some Rule 34 content, or you know, that's judgmental. Maybe you're a woman, so maybe you flick the bean, whichever. Which game was it recently that had the $300 skin? You mean the $500 skin? And that was League. To be honest, kind of do that for a few games. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying though. It's like you don't need to play every gacha game. It's actually going to save you time and money if you just straight up instead go like, you know what? Maybe I don't pick up this gacha game. Maybe instead I just go look at the cultured artwork of it. Why are we still going? Why aren't we still going? Chat, we're talking about pity. This is a lesson in pity. This is a lesson in what can happen after your pity goes bye-bye. Also, the gacha can't take that art from you by closing down. Exactly. Yeah, technically, gacha can confiscate your JPEGs, chat. Is this Savannah? I'm a fan of the new gacha game, goes to image site. The fan art is great. Right. And that's my entire point. Is like, again, just don't play games you don't enjoy. There's no point. Like chat, if you're like, God, I really like the design of League units, but man, do I hate League's toxicity. Stop playing. You can enjoy the content without having to suffer the you know, the negatives. Skip this song? Okay. Unfortunately, you fool, you've skipped into Despacito. Chat, you should have known. You should have looked at what was coming. You should have looked. But yeah, no, I think, God damn it, K-Scope. I'm sorry, chat in advance. But no, I think I think $50 is too much. I think you know, at least if I look at something like the League skins, I can say usually the League skins have a tendency to go all out. I'm more okay with a skin like that being more expensive. For instance, I think I paid for the $40 Elementalist Lux skin in League because that one is, you can literally in battle change how you look, change which element you are, and it actually changes your appearance and animations. So like that one, I was like, all right, this is expensive, but I like low-key really like this, and it's for a character that I play a lot. So I could find a way to mentally justify that. In the same way that I'm sure people are going to mentally justify a $50 skin in Nikke for their favorite character. But overall, should skins be priced at that point? No, I don't think so. And I think even at that, the $40, it was too expensive. So I just was willing to go for it. I'd feel better about skins if they gave you an ability that you can use in the game. Yeah, probably. You got scope too? Yep. Man, at least we're getting copies of Zhang here. Justifying 85 big gacha packs. Listen, I also agree that gacha packs are too damn expensive. Straight up. They are absolutely the biggest scam. This is why I said we're all idiots for playing gacha games. Like, I of all people can speak on how stupid I am. Right? I still need a couple more scopes, like 3+ years. Oh no. Important question, which ascension of Bakin? I believe, if I remember correctly from looking at them, I think it's the second one is the one I like. I just don't know who made these. I'm a fool. I know nothing. Good. Stay that way. But don't you want to give some of your profits to Faker, the greatest gamer ever? No. Faker's already rich as shit. Don't get me wrong. I do think the RE skin actually looks really nice. I did look at it. Do I think it's worth, $500? No. I'm just gonna flat out tell you that, like, that skin and man, there's gonna be, like, if anyone actually here works for Riot or is a huge League fan, they're gonna mold when I say this. That skin should be priced at like $15. But to be fair, I think all the League skins should be cheaper than they are. So Faker's only getting 30%. Well, yeah, because Faker didn't do the work. He didn't earn that. And the reason I laugh, Chad, is because if you pay any attention to League, Faker just won Worlds last year, so like he did actually put in the work. But like, it's just one of those things where, like, yeah, I think it's kind of dumb because, again, the initial cost of creating the skin is the man hours and the wage and basically like whatever percentage of the licensing fees to use the program that they use to make it would cost. I am going to tell you, after like probably something as small as like 100 skin sales, they make that back with the price that they currently have at it. So to me, especially when you have, hundreds of thousands of players, maybe even millions, you can set that shit pretty low and you will recoup your investment and still make bank. So I don't understand that. Did someone ask about Bakin? So I do have a video talking about Bakin. I did compare her with the other ones. Double-sided Berserker. Okay, I thought it was actually going to be a Berserker, but it's not. Chat, this anime is not out yet, right? This deer anime. Do you have a favorite Craft Essence artwork out of useful CEs? Damn, that's a loaded question. But it doesn't change my answer, and the answer is First Sunrise. Deer anime? Yes. It looks like it's just a complete and total acid trip. I was very confused. Yep. Royal Icing? I do like Royal Icing. Okay. But chat, have you ever seen First Sunrise? Don't care for it. It's good though. SMH. Okay, that didn't spark. What do you mean don't care for it, chat? What do you mean? First Sunrise ever have a rate up again? It's an anniversary, or sorry, a New Year's C, so it usually comes back every New Year's, but it definitely depends. And is it a useful CE? Yes, it's 50% starting charge and like 20% buster up. It's quite nice. Sign of a smiling face. Sign of a smiling face. It's good. Man, Lincoln passed too soon, Sag. Yeah, I miss Abe Lincoln. Yeah. Especially like he was a bomb ass vampire hunter. Think we'll ever get another poster girl banner? Probably, but how good will the banner be? I don't know. You say that, but did the Musashi Sea ever come back? Yeah, I think it has. On the topic of cultured art, Ludist CE. I think that's definitely subjective because it 100% speaks to people's fetishes and stuff. I mean, for me, it's actually gonna be royal icing, but like, there's a lot of good ones. Redrop has that like naked Cleopatra one where she's bathing. Redrop has a lot of them. There's also trick or treatment. That Yume Rinsi, what, the one with the butt? The Calamity Jane one? I don't think the Calamity Jane one's that lewd. But I can definitely see how someone finds it to be. Sweet Devil with Irie, yeah. Dangerous Beast is up there, yeah. There's a ton. And it's funny because a lot of those are by Redrop. So it definitely makes me wonder, like, how the hell did Redrop get away with all this lewd shit and none of the other artists did? But maybe it's also because Redrop has done so many CEs at this point that they're not worried about like leaving their mark on the game, and they just keep trying to make the like hottest thing imaginable. Welcome Bunny with Bradamonte, that's another nice one. Give Redrop another servant already? Yep. Trick or Treatment is so iconic, there's more art of it than a whole lot of gacha games. Chat, Redrop's art is so iconic that it is hilariously and almost annoyingly co-opted by artists for other gacha games. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I have seen, like, for instance, another like Genshin character or something like that in Dangerous Beast. Or again, Trick or Treatment. So like a lot of Redrop Cs get used. And to be fair, that's a sign that it is just really solid design. It is really good looking. Yeah, Shaka P's art is actually really nice. I actually like I would like Shaka P to get another unit because Shaka P's only unit I believe is Miss Crane, and I actually really do like Miss Crane's design aesthetically. Dangerous Beast gets copied so often. Yeah. My hot take about FGO is that Redrop is only a good artist, not the god it feels like the fandom treats them as. That is definitely a hot take. And the reason why I say that is because, again, it's the actual outfit design that keeps getting reused. Like, that's why I say that's a hot take. Dangerous Beast costume from Ash Win. I don't know that they'll ever allow something like that, but, you know, hopefully, right? Hiroki Saito is a good artist as well. FGO has a ton of good artists. Redrop will just draw Cs for the sake of Cs too. I remember this is the CE I would draw for the Halloween event if I had one tweets last year. Yeah, it's actually great. You see some occasional like stuff that they've drawn, and it's just like, I felt like drawing. Here you go. And that's a lot of artists do use their involvement with FGO to then turn around, draw more FGO art, and sell that as like an art book. And I don't blame them. Like, if you're someone that really likes the art style, if you really like the artist, you're going to do it. I think that's smart of them to do that. But I had thought better. No, you absolutely should have, because you'll never get that chance ever again, Koji. I mean, you might, right? But I would say screw it. I think the VAs will straight up appreciate it regardless. They might give you an odd look, but I think it's like it's better to have actually done it. Redrop usually draws a big piece every year too. Yep. I bought Wada Arco's art book and don't regret. Yeah, I don't think you should. Choco has made like 4 books of Mellow. I know the Lartori artist Ishida has a ton of books. I've considered buying them. I never have, but mostly because it's like I have not managed to get my hands on them. Cad's gonna have to summon 8 Lobos to see Bakin again. Yep. Listen, chat. It's fine. People can have their opinions. I left for a bit. Are you rolling in P5 Doggo? I don't know. Am I? Well, we have 20 fragments, so Swoop. One times Bakin, one times French Cannon Man, 3 times 3 times Blue Doge, 1 time Fran. We're doing okay. Zerk Mori art is cool. Zerk Mori. Oh. Wait, do you mean like his actual card art or you mean something else? Can MP5 Doggo instant kill a golden unit? Everyone can. Will they? Probably not. It's remember guys, instant kill is usually a factor of many different things, including the servant's own rate, but it also has a factor of the target's death rate as well as their rarity coming into play. And also keep in mind that things are always skewed against you, the player, not for you. So like it is much harder for you to try and death proc a gold versus the enemy trying to death proc you. Death proc is so fucked. It's a weird calculation. Is skill what happens can be a curse as often as a blessing. I'd say that definitely depends on the unit. Like most of the time that's still pretty good. But I think it is a logical thing. Like I think in most cases you want the death proc to occur, but there is the occasional like, man, that screwed me for refund type deal. I just got my first Nightingale spook. Can I use her to support Morgan? Yeah. I mean, like, the issue with Nightingale is that you're not going to get any charge. But at least you get that 50% buster up. You do get other nice things like, again, death immunity and debuff immunity. So, like, it's okay to use her. She's just not going to be the best, like, alternative support that you could have gone with. All right, chat. Looks like we are buying another pack. It's almost always good now, with the exception of the few units that didn't get it. Yeah, I still do not understand why. Oh, come on. I still do not understand why they ever design units to death proc before damage goes out. To me, that just always feels somewhat worse. Especially because even if you get the death proc before the damage goes out, it doesn't make the Noble Phantasm animation play faster. So you don't really actually like get anything. Third point C bought from the shop. Nice. They climb their escalator slowly with a sense of purpose. Hey. Any 7 at 3 St. Quartz for each final ascension at all rarities. It does not include welfares. But otherwise, I believe so. I'd have to double check. A good chance for me to raise my Wii. Haven't done so in so long. Wait. Oh, like you're in P level. I thought you meant like level, and I was like, huh? Hello, John. The gang going to Musashi's udon shop was glorious. Nice. Can we pet the dogs? In the event, yes. Yeah, remember you guys have the expeditions to try to stay on top of that. It's exclamation point current song. A long shot, but I may give in to the bait for an NP4 Hokusai. I mean, I will say, if you are patient, it is always to your benefit to spread your rolls out. And it certainly helps to do so. Like, for instance, like me here, I am rolling for an NP2, but that second copy is not covered by pity. So it is entirely possible that these rolls just keep going on and on and on, and I don't get the thing that I want, right? That's why, again, it is better to be patient and wait, because that way you know you have that safety net there. But in general, it also just allows you to like pace yourself. So expeditions, yes. Or not notifications, just so I can be on top of them. Mine are probably already ready again. I did not actually check before we started rolling, so I should have. If you could give Lobo a third buff, what would you give him? I mean, probably just one of the most broken things you can give any unit at this point is charge. So it's like, I do feel like that would benefit Lobo at this point. Visit the Doggos and maybe you get a doggo. I mean, that is certainly possible. That might actually be a catalyst. It's been a minute since you got an SSR. True, but remember, I did start out the rolls with getting it. Charge is the strongest buff. In a weird way, not anymore. Charge for a long point in time in the game was the strongest buff because it was pretty well actualizable into more damage. Nowadays, and I've talked about this before, it's like there is the possibility that you just actually have too much or that you don't need it for whatever reason, and thus then you're technically the itemization, the like economy of a unit's design would technically then be a little bit wasteful on that. The High Beowulf, odd. I mean, Malding. I mean, it comes from a lot of rolling, Oda. Basically, the average is around like 300. So I think it's like the true average is something like 287 or something like that for an SSR. And that's including things like the 11 spin. But I don't know. I have quite literally gone like all the way to pity and not gotten a single SSR besides the actual pity roll. So it happens. What do you think of Bakin singing in the shop? I actually don't know if I've heard that yet. Jekyll needs one more than anyone and needs a rework. Yeah. Beowulf keeps hiding in Cad's Chaldea. I've gotten a lot of Beowulf spooks over the years. I don't know why. I've never had to actually roll for him. I did roll Bryn originally, but I don't think I got him on that banner. I got Bryn and got out. Two of them from Merlin's separate banners. Yep. Never underestimate not only Dick Wizard's dickishness, but also that like any given unit can and will take you to pity multiple times. Kamitoma's example of too much charge doesn't do anything for him, at least not in a formal setting. Yeah, and I've talked about that. Like, I don't think I actually I like Tometomo's appearance design wise, but I feel like Tometomo is just whoever actually designed his kit had no idea what they were doing. Like, there's just so much like wastefulness in his kit. Just from the standpoint of like, you could have taken some of these things, changed them into something else, and he would be better. But the way it is right now is he's kind of sandbagged and sort of held back because of it. Cream Bakin, Arc, Sin, and Summer stuff. I feel like Sin is going to be one of those units that a lot of people will not roll. And she is still a very good unit to have. Oh my god. Thank you for the 16. How's it going? Have you been? Bless my future plans for NP5 Arcuid come Annie. But then what about my future plans? But no, good luck. I hope you get her. Aside from daily singles, after dipping into it, I have like 111 pull for Tometomo. I mean, I'm gonna say people should also just be in the like the saving mentality at this point. I think there's gonna be a ton of people that will not roll these banners at this event, and I don't blame them. You know, you have anniversary. Like, anniversary will probably be the next thing after this. You know, with some padding in between, but even after that, like, you still got summer pretty much on its heels. So like, I would tell you guys, like, you should be in full blown save mode if you are not a whale. Saving on both NA and JP for summers at the moment. I unfortunately can't save on JP because we already know what's coming. Hello, Gil. Hope you get Bakin this roll. I do too. Is there any banner except Arc banner during Annie? They usually will have a rotational banner, but I haven't actually gone and looked at what it is. Draco, my beloved. Yes, Draco is coming up next on JP. I say that we don't know, like, so I have it on the schedule that we're rolling Draco on Friday. I don't know if Draco will be on Friday. Like, I'm sure Draco will get a banner because of this event. I just don't know if it will be the first banner. So, which, oh man, chat, can y'all imagine where they come out with the arcade collab and the first banner is not Draco? And just watch as people mauled. Oh my god, people will go freaking insane. I'd be, yeah, I think people will be. And that's almost why I kind of expect it. What was the first banner last time? So the pre-banner was Tiamat. I think the first banner was Draco. But trying to remember because I feel like there were 3 banners for that event. I know you've talked about fixing the charge for buster units in the past so they can start from 0, but what would you think if they made a 5-star that had an enter the battlefield 10% party charge at MLB? You mean like a CE that's that? Because I know a lot of the 50% charges are usually missing the 10%. Yeah. Like, what do I think about that? Could they do it? Yes, they absolutely could. Should they? I think that's up to them. Right? But I do think that that would allow for that differentiation so that, again, the 50% units would actually feel like they were warranted for having 50% charge. Not a lewd rabbit. Thank you for the follow. Her name is Mary Anning. What? What if we get 30 million week 3 of the arcade rerun or the week after? I think everybody needs to be on 30 million watch on JP. It can happen any day. Like quite literally. You guys should just expect that it is coming soon, and when it comes, who knows? Gonna dedicate my time to Monster Hunter World more. Nice. Yeah, I do think we probably in like the first 3 months of 2025. I think that's when, like maybe like March is probably when you're gonna see wilds, but we'll see. How many copies of Bakin am I going for? Well, right now we're just trying to get the second one, and it does not want to show up. Dragging their asses with 30 million. It's weird because I'm sure we've hit 30 million in a weird way, right? Like, I'm sure we have, purely because of the collab that they ran. They ran 2 collabs, in fact. I think that alone was enough to actually like get them across the line, but we'll see, right? You didn't even expect another Destiny summon? Maybe. I don't want to get too hyped about any one particular thing, because I do think the 30 million downloads campaign is going to be good, but I don't want to like get everyone's hopes up and then it's like, oh, it's not X, it's Y. So it's one of those deals where like we just don't know what actually will be in a campaign like that. So I don't want to like promise the world. I will say I do think you can probably expect another sort of like SSR selector. What that is, I don't know. But I think the reason you can expect that is because they did explicitly say that they wanted to be better than the 20 million downloads campaign. So they drew that comparison themselves. But what type of selector would it be? To what level? I don't know. How's my day? My day's going pretty good. How are you doing? Rotation of Saber Shiki, Castronero, MHX, Voyager, Musashi Berserker, Summer Abbey, and Ilya. Yeah, so it's like still good units, but it's not like old Annie units, which is I'm surprised they actually don't do. Like in all seriousness. She got Ken last banner, nice. USH is certainly a good unit. Would also not be odd if it's limited units one, given we had a limited 4-star one for the 3,000 days. Yep. So it's like it's anyone's guess at this point. I don't want to like sit here and be like, oh chat, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, because who knows, right? The devs can decide what greater than 20 million means. And the only reason why I offer up some sort of 5-star selector is because they drew the comparison to the 20 million. Will I be rolling Tametomo? No. I will not. Tametomo is also permanent, though. So, like, just as you guys have already seen Napoleon, this banner for me, and the prior banner, it is entirely possible that Tametomo just suddenly starts showing up in my Chaldea. Let's think of rolling for Kama Assassin instead of Earth this year. I kind of feel like I needed a single target assassin. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Kama is quite nice in terms of a single target assassin. But I will say this, like, again, I'm gonna sit down and we're gonna end up doing things for anniversary soon, and I'm gonna have to like talk to you guys about, you know, obviously Arcuid. I'm gonna have a lot to say about that character. It is natural, right? Because it's a very highly anticipated unit, so it's one of those ones where I really got to go through it with a fine tooth comb. So. Man, was really hoping for a spook. Chat, I would love to see a 5-star Boudica. Like, I would actually like to see that. And I would just hope that she is as hot as her 3-star form. What is your opinion of Faker, Kama versus Alter Ego? Wait, Faker / Kama? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You mean like because she has advantage? Like I'm absolutely down with Kama. Is this Beowulf again? Okay, it's Penth. I was gonna say, I was like, the hell, man. Which one is better against Alter Ego? That really depends, because I feel like at least with someone like Faker, if you were just always having that advantage, but you don't really have a lot in the way of defense. Versus with Kama, as long as you kill within 3 turns, Kama's just slaps. But the second you get outside of that 3 turns and that 3rd skill wears off, Kama's like a sitting duck. So, but at least Kama has that guts, that unexpiring guts. So, yeah. To me, I would probably rather have Kama as long as I can kill it fast. But if I can't kill it fast, then we're in trouble. Kama mistake in arcade. You know, I haven't actually looked at the arcade version's kit. I know she's an archer, but I haven't actually looked at like what she actually does. You know how Cad feels about using Kama against Alter Ego. We see it every day. I don't know about every day, but like, I mean, you guys saw, like, I took it into the Grail front. I think the Grail fronts are one of those things where there's just naturally some strong counters. It's not that you can't do it without certain units. It's just that there are certain units that just work really well in a Grail front, and Kama's absolutely one of them. Give Cat a second helping of bacon. I need the shower bacon, clearly. That is the true catalyst. I need to quite literally just go strip down and jump into my shower with raw bacon. Okie dokie. Is she still really good at MP1, or is it typical MP2 preferred? For Kama? Kama, you're absolutely fine at MP1. Kama, like, chat, if you told me I can only have one assassin in the game for single target purposes, I am probably going to recommend Kama. I won't take Kama, but that's because I'm a Saberface simp, so I'm going to take MHX myself. But if you ask me, like, what should you take, I will recommend you Kama. There's strong cases to be made for some of the other assassins, particularly someone like King Hassan. Kama is just brain dead easy to use and strong. That has just always kind of been the case. Sabershiki was funny in Grail War, just wouldn't take damage. Yep. I'm a Hassan lover. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is definitely something that can be debated, but for me, it is like the easy recommendation that I can go with. No Jack love. So part of that is because Jack does not have charge. And so charge is just one of those things that can absolutely really help you. And it's why there is some bias there. She should be the third banner in this event, correct? Do you mean Hokusai? Yes. Kama, no. Though Kama should be getting a banner again soon if we get the Oku main interlude. So Jack also hasn't had many banners. It's just one of those things that I don't think Jack is a bad unit by any means. In fact, like when Jack came out, Jack was so good that like there was just an instantaneous like power like surge with the assassin class. Because prior to Jack, you didn't have a 5-star assassin. And not only that, Jack just was a crazily good star generator in one of the game's few anti-female units. But while I still think Jack is very usable and very useful, I still think Jack definitely comes with at least a little bit more of a tag of like, hey, you're going to have to pay a little bit more attention to how to use this. She's a star generating demon. Yes. Leah trying to bait me into rolling. That is what she does. Just, I want you to think of Leah as Leah, but with horns. Like, it's like you know, like Karen, and then there's like the devil Karen Ascension. That's Leah. Anti-female unit, where a lot of units got the gender bender into female. Yep. I don't have horns naturally. No, you just hide them. Does anyone else remember Jack was a limited servant? Yes. And then it got changed at was it New Year's, I believe? Or was it later? I'm trying to remember. But no, she did originally come out as limited. Or it may have been story locked and not limited. I don't remember, but is there some sort of rule? I'm sure they can downgrade the unit. So like they can go from like limited to general, but I don't think they can ever go in the reverse order. They can never take a permanent unit and make it limited. That will be very, very bad for people. I was gone for an hour and this is still going. Yep, it happens, chat. I also doubt they'll ever do that again. Yeah, that was just one of those ones that they got away with in early FGO. Okay. Side note was asking about song requests because I was going to put BB channel on X. Go for it. I actually think Annie 9 will have that. Maybe a pick your own limited GSSR from part 1. You know, I really do wonder because we're reaching a point where like they have done so many like different GSSRs that they've got to like come up with something new. But we'll see. It's not like they have no ideas they can do. It's just that I think like even they go like, yeah, this is getting kind of stale. How old is FGO again? I forgot. FGO will be celebrating its 9th anniversary in like basically about a month and a half. Little over a month and a half. What's your opinion on the Trung Sisters? Trung Sisters are underrated. They're really good. They're just solid in terms of like the utility and the support that they provide, and their damage is much better than most people realize. Strong Sisters or Dioscuri? For me personally, I really like Dioscuri and their ability to invuln pierce on NP, but I would go with the Trung Sisters because I feel like you can get invuln pierce from craft essences. So to me, it's Trung Sisters, but I definitely can understand why people would feel otherwise. The only one Bakin? Yes. We're gonna try the dog catalyst chat. Straight up. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. There you go, chat. Did I get her? Wait, did they change this song? I know it's Creepy Nuts, but... Yes, you got a girl? If by her you mean Nezha? Did I get Nezha? I got 2 Ezos in a row, so I did get a dog. And now I woke the dogs up. So now they're no longer napping. And like Nezha, I'm still missing her. Interesting. Remember, what was Nezha's first banner that she was on? I don't remember if I rolled it or not. You should check your expeditions as a catalyst. I mean, at this point, sure, chat. We will check the expeditions. Salem wasn't? That's right, it was Salem. Hold on, chat. Seems like Cat had fun rolling. I told you, Bob. To be fair, the first copy wasn't too bad. Now we're just getting into the bad territory. The only limit is the inventory. Even that's not even a limit, chat. Not while rolling. We couldn't have anything stop your rolls, right? Like nothing can slow the roll. They gotta allow you to keep just inflating. How about that pity chat? Yep. Oh, I didn't realize you hadn't stopped. I have not. They are not FP. You think I roll FP on stream? You guys know my mentality on that. I almost never would subject you to FP rolling because that is the most boring shit ever. What's your goal? Well, we'll see when I get a second one. How goes the rolls? They going? How you doing? Unless a new FP servant is added, which is rarely ever. I mean, at this point, I don't even know that I need to roll for Zhang. I'm pretty sure I've gotten at least the 5 copies of him. I don't know if anyone's been counting that. Question about Dot, burn, curse, and poison. So it does kill, right? They do proc guts as well, right? I swear I've seen it in times where it doesn't. It should proc guts. It should not kill, if I remember correctly, but it definitely can depend. FP rolling might as well be a cat interview time. Yep. I mean, it pretty much is. It's an AMA. Ask me anything, chat. What do you guys want to know? You can ask me anything. I don't guarantee I answer, though. What's your biased opinion on Bakin? My biased opinion on Bakin is that, like most other writers at this point, Khadroth is just that freaking good. So a lot of the writers just need a kick in the pants, basically, to outpace the pretty clear in a way welfare. Make a summer roster prediction. Lalter Avenger. Who is the best Saberface? All of them. Next question. Best VTuber. Myself when I become out of all the VTubers that I've ever watched, and I have not watched a ton, right? Because there's plenty of like art VTubers that I watch, and they're definitely good at their job, but like, in a weird way, I usually find either Vey or Giga pretty entertaining to watch. Thoughts on Summer Mellison? Summer Mellison is still very good. She's just not as cracked as her Lancer form. Who is the best non-Saber face? Like, what do you mean by best? Do you think they will ever do Castoria Alter? It would be an interesting lore twist, but do I think they'll ever do it? No. Joel's a good VTuber in my opinion. I've never watched Joel. I have seen Joel and quite literally interacted with Joel, but I have never watched Joel. That Joel is Porcelain Maid, if anyone is unfamiliar. Who is the servant you find the hottest? Probably Buntoria. Ted should have gone the route of South Park Canadian VTuber. Oh, you're talking about like where I joked that like if I was gonna do a VTuber model that I would do it in that way. You're not wrong. So like if you're a servant has critical health, had a dot on them, but you end the fight that turn, it won't trigger kill. So are you asking, will it kill the enemy or will it kill you? I don't actually remember on this. This is an interesting thing because I've seen things, and part of the problem is that like certain things in my head, like I've definitely seen dots kill. I've also seen dots not kill and leave you at 1 HP. So I expect it's a fight specific thing is basically what it boils down to. Next Esmus is Santa Morgan, believe me. I mean, I'm not going to say I'd be opposed to that, but I will say they certainly should probably stop milking LB6 as hard. They changed it for CERN, I think. CERN's not the only time that's happened, though. But yes, they did. Yeah, they still trigger. It's just, will it kill? I don't know. If you end the fight, the dot damage only takes you to 1 in most instances. Yeah, and that might be the issue that I'm thinking. There may be an exception to the rule. I'd have to go back and look at it because I have not in a long time. Rengo cannot die to curse of any kind, right? She's certainly an exception. What actress would you cast as Artoria for a live action Fate? Oh fuck. I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because like that is a difficult thing to answer in modern Hollywood because like one, I'm not on the up and up as to like all the actresses, and two, I feel like you would need a very specific like timbre to your voice. You would need to be British for starters. And you would need a very specific sound that to me sounded similar enough to Kawasumi. Because I think that'd be the only way I'd accept it. I know there are English like VAs that have played Saber. I don't like any of them. It's just one of those like weird things where I have always listened to Saber in Japanese. Hearing her in English sounds super odd to me. Maybe Anya Taylor-Joy could pull off Artoria? Maybe. Like I said, this sort of thing is an odd question for me. Because I'm just I don't know that I'm educated enough to have an opinion on it, which is wild because I watch a ton of shows. So just get whoever voiced Baber in a bridge to do it. Yeah, I mean, like there are definitely like for something that's jokey, I feel like I'm able to suspend my understanding, but I feel like I would be super harshly judgmental on like something like that. So like if it were an actual authentic representation for like live action Fate, I would very much be like very judgmental over the voice. Expecting Tomatomo banner in about 3 days or so. I don't think we get it till like a weekend. It's really funny because I do normally like listen to most stuff in Japanese for games and anime and stuff. But if I'm playing on stream, sometimes I play in English. And the reason why is it makes it easier for me to read chat because I can listen to what they're saying rather than having to always focus on what's on the screen. I also feel like it makes it easier for chat to listen to and they can get up and leave the computer. Tomitomo is 4 days into the event. Is he? I thought he was I thought he was a weekend, but yeah, maybe not then. I wanted to ask if there's a 2024 banner overview part 4 that I missed uploaded. I am still waiting on it. But yes, it is still to come, future. And also thank you for stopping by the stream. Sorry I did not see your question until just now. The composure to Arteria would be hard to pull off. Well, that's what I say. Like, you would have to be British. She would have to sound somewhat stoic, but also sound, or be able to act somewhat stoic, but also be able to sound similar to Kawasumi, at least in terms of like pitch. Who do you want to see as Santa? No saber faces. Drake. Take that. English is also nice when you're listening while trying to do something else. Yeah, there's it's funny because I like to watch anime a lot, and you guys know that. But if I ever have to like do something else, I prefer to watch like a Western show or something like that, something that's in English, so that I can just like basically just have it on. Hello, CZ, how's it going? I want Summer or Drake Alter. I agree. but still. Any other questions, chat? She might not tick all the boxes. Yeah, that's obviously I'm going to be biased towards whether or not the person's hot as well. So you also watch Wagon Train. I cannot say that I've ever seen that. Whatever that is. This session's being rough. It is what it is. Also, nice pun. When is Summer Chiome oh great prophet? That's a difficult one because I feel like Chiome has never been one of the more popular units. I'm not saying they couldn't do it. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a desired unit. I'm just saying I don't know when they would do it. I have no inkling. So Cat of the Lake has no idea. How do you like to make your eggs? Interestingly enough, I'm not a huge fan of eggs. I can eat them like mixed in with stuff perfectly fine. In a weird way, like I actually like the texture of eggs. I don't care much for the flavor of eggs, at least not on their own. Usually when I have eaten them in the past, I like them to be scrambled. You only pick one, would you choose between regular GSSR and Destiny Order? I would take Destiny Order every single time because you have a much like greater odds of getting something you want. Do you think the current event can count as a main interlude since it happens literally after 6.5? Could it count as a main interlude? Perhaps, but it's pretty clear they wanted to turn this into a fun event. Second copy's way overdue. It do be. But still, we keep going. Because why not, chat? Bacon, sausage, or ham on a breakfast sandwich? Sausage. Also, all three. But sausage. Egg taste by itself, just can't do it. It's not that I can't do it, I can eat it. It's just, it's not like a super appetizing thing to me. Meanwhile, you put some like egg in some like fried rice or something, fuck yeah, I fuck with that. Or even like a like fried egg on a burger or something like that. I've also had that. That's also really good. So like I like egg. I just don't like the concept of eating a egg all by itself. Oh, sorry. With one exception, I love deviled eggs. Deviled eggs are fantastic. I am also aware of what deviled eggs are made out of, chat. Ramen eggs. And this is why I say, like, I don't think I've ever had proper ramen. I've had ramen noodles. I've had ramen broth. I don't think I've ever had ramen with the egg in it. You're missing out? I know. I'm pretty much the only person in my family who doesn't like deviled eggs. All right, so the secret, Jay. Secret. Buy yourself some of this. Okay? You take that and you put that on your deviled eggs or Tabasco. Tabasco can also work, but you want a like mild hot sauce. And you just dash a little bit on top of the deviled egg. So good. So good. Gives it some bite. Does salt go on watermelon? I have tasted that before. It's okay, but to me, I would rather have the watermelon without it. I think it's the whole salty sweet gimmick is what people are going for. Well, you have to order the Fjord hot sauce from Florida. So it's crystal hot sauce. I didn't see. Is it actually mirrored on this? Yeah, so it's crystal. Just can't you read backwards, Jay? Come on. Will you eat green eggs and ham with Lancer Arturia? Yes. The only Shimosa servant to show up on those banners and the work she put in. Also, just like her in general. Well, that's fine. I don't see any issues with something like that. Have you ever tried... Wait, hold on. Have you ever had pepper on mango? Pepper on mango? No, I have not. I'm just trying to think of what that would taste like. I'd try it. I don't think that'd be that disgusting. But that would be a little odd. Have you ever tried balled up pizza? What do you mean balled up? Like pizza rolls? Yes. I have also had like so like not like a Tostino's pizza roll, but I have had like an actual like pinwheel of pizza. That was also really good. But I've never had like balled like deep fried pizza, if that's what you're asking. Have you ever eaten a scrapple? No, I can't say I have. Is that like some blend with something with an apple? Like something crossed with an apple? Pepperoncino? Pepperoncino is fantastic. Nice try. Pepper mango? This sounds like witchcraft to me. I don't think it'd be terrible. Put pepper on potato chips. No. Because I like salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar is my favorite potato chip. Also, Chad, have you ever had salt and vinegar fries? Those are also really good. Black olives or green olives? Kalamata, which are still green, but like, yeah, absolutely. I do not like black olive. Pepper on mango is a crime? Is it? I don't feel like that's that crazy. Granted, I also am someone that chat finds quite the heathen when it comes to a particular combination, so. We did it, chat! First try! There we go! We got her! Finally! It only took the Shimosa theme to show up. Caster. Hi, Helena. Yata, indeed. NP5 now? No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good, chat. I don't think we need NP5. Here's the Shimosa theme, I'm telling you, clearly. Yeah, I did see. We have a Yakuza Like a Dragon live action show coming to Amazon Prime. And I am like equal parts excited and terrified. The good news is it's apparently directed by the Japanese. So like in that regard, I'm like, okay, you'll probably get somebody that actually cares about the source material. On the other side, it's Amazon, and I trust nothing from Amazon. Yeah, the main lead that they have apparently announced for it is somebody that's played Common Rider a lot. So I'm sure the Common Rider fans will be a fan. Unpopular pizza combo, but pizza and popcorn, it slaps. Trust. You know, in a weird way, I actually don't feel like that's that crazy. Rings of Power exec should be shot. Yeah, Chat, I am going to continue to watch Rings of Power out of, again, just morbid curiosity, just to see. Would you trust a Netflix adaptation of Fate? Well, that depends. Is it outsourced to the Japanese? If so, yes. If not, no. If it's Netflix doing it in-house with their own hired people, nah, I don't trust that at all. They'll turn Saber into a man. I keep seeing Metal Gear live action that looks kind of like Zoolander. I feel like you could do a Metal Gear live action. I don't think that'd be that crazy. I've had cheesy popcorn, pizza popcorn I can put together in a snap. I'll try it. Go for it. But yes, finally, and a ton of Ezos. So the final tally is almost 1,200 Saint Courts, 2 Bacons, 1 French Cannon Man, 3 Blue Doge, and a Fran in an electric tree. Why is it that the Guns of the Patriots is still locked to PS3? I don't know. I have no idea. Again, probably rights issues. Metal Gear live action is just a Bond movie? Maybe. Why is his gold card brown? What do you mean? My gold card isn't brown. Your gold card is brown. See, chat, we even got out with 98 courts to spare. We came out net positive. We did not. We definitely did not. All right, let's go and Jesus. Well, we got some 5 stars, chat. Let us begin the combination. Should be enough here for at least 2 MLBs. Did you have to hit pity? There was no pity. There is no pity. This is gotcha, chat. Let all ye who enter here despair. Yeah, so I will basically have 4 C's, 2 of which are MLB, which is probably worth it anyways, because you're gonna take one on support, so it'd only be the 5th CE. So it's better to have the extra MLB at that point. Well, it's actually not that many 4 stars by comparison. Second copy sure felt like going to pity. It happens. It, like I said, it really does happen. I've tried to tell you guys before that, like, anytime you start rolling beyond the first copy, this can happen to you. And it's just like, how am I able to, like, stomach that sort of thing? Well, simple, because it is quite literally how things used to be. So I'm someone that, like, you know, rolled in those old days and saw that happen, and you just had to be patient. Like, chat, having roll streams that lasted for multiple days was not unheard of. I'm just saying, it happened to me. It happened to other people. It was a thing. That's a lot of 4 stars. It's actually not. Like not for the amount that I rolled. Normally I would expect to have quite a bit more than this. Especially not with a rate up. Oh man, am I really 4-star shy of 5 MLBs? That sucks. That actually sucks. Well, you can only fit 5 Cs anyway, so I'm just going to basically have a close to that. Like, we are just going to go ahead and combine it. That way it doesn't take up inventory. And of course, that's the one that super sucks. One of these should be locked. Forgive me, chat, but I have heard this like 4 times in the past couple days, so I'm going to skip that song. Okay. I don't want to say how much my first Kets was back in the day. Yeah, it happens. Like, people that were around back then that were whales, they can all tell you some horror stories. It just... That's why, like, again, to a weird degree, like, while people are upset about pity, the whales are just like, thank God it exists. It was so bad before that point. Like... And that's where, like, I understand why FGO has a negative reputation amongst other gacha players. I understand why there's so many jilted like FGO players. It's because the gacha absolutely did fuck people back in the day. Okay, this should be 5 MLBs. I guess I can keep more if I wanted, but I really don't need to. It would serve the purpose of like loading out the support roster, but it's not worth it. We'll just go ahead and combine. Combi. Swoop. Okay. Nothing else left in the event bonus section there. I will probably have to compare some of these, chat, so hold on to your bacon. My first SSR was literally Vanilla Saber. Hey, sometimes vanilla tastes good. That's all I'm saying, chat. Sometimes it do be that good. Okay. Then we'll actually get to leveling Bakin. Now, my foes, because of my earlier mishap, chat, have like been in a precarious situation. So they will probably like I probably will not foe Bakin right away. Just because of the situation that I'm currently in. But they will all end up being foed before the year end easily. And in case anyone is curious, it's because I just absolutely totally forgot about all the units I had planned to pull upcoming, and I actually like burnt some foes and then went like, oh crap. So as a result, I'm short on foes temporarily. But all my other units are foed, so it's not a huge deal. Just get some on FP. Yeah, if you guys have to roll for your Grail casting, that's usually a good idea. I know I don't need the necromemes. I will also go ahead and combine that. We're basically just throwing that in there just to get under the amounts that I can actually run the nodes and do the excursions and stuff. Oh, hold on. Before we go burn units, let's go see if anyone actually gets an additional NP level. Yep, the saucy cannon man gets it. So that does make NP3 for him, which is nice. That means he is actually getting quite strong for me, and in certain situations, he would outdamage my Gil, which is good. That means he'll actually see more use because of that. Okay, Bakin herself is going to get the upgrade here. Huh? Oh, wait, hold on. That was still just locked. It didn't unlock it. Sometimes my screen taps, I swear, they just, like, do not go through. Never? I'm sorry, chat. All of these are already in P5, unfortunately. So they're all going in the furnace, chat. That, though, is not in P5, but now is. So we got 8 copies of him, which is not bad. That is actually, like, fairly good on coins, because he should be, what, 15 coins each times 8? Yeah, it's quite literally enough for his first append. So I'll take it. It also saves me from having to pay much attention to him, other than I just cannot use his coins. Dude, that is so many Ezo copies. What the shit? That's gonna be nice for his coins. Oh, right, we got NP3 of Charlie. Yeah, that in retrospect, that makes a little bit more sense as to why Bakin was a little bit more painful. I had forgotten Charlie, the Charlie incident. I'm just purposely going slow here just to make sure I get an eye on everyone. And then shwoomp. Who do you have grailed, by the way? Oh, easy here. Wait, where is it? Is it here? Yeah, there you go. There's my grailed units. So there's a theme to this lineup. Noticing a trend. Are you sure? Or are you maybe wondering why they call me the saber face guy? Yeah, it's a thing. Don't forget your 1-star Lancer. What are you talking about? That doesn't exist. The cheerleader is in the back. A bit of saber face servants, yeah. Basically the expected result. Not all 120 fake fan. To be fair, that is physically impossible so far. I have never missed a grail on NA. And while I have misplaced one, it's still physically impossible to have all 120s right now. Is the trend blonde hair? I guess. I guess that's one way to look at it, right? Let me go get my expeditions here, chat. He's back. And so you guys can see it quite literally, it returns the item that you used to actually start the expedition and gets you what you need, embers. Which is funny because I'm pretty sure those embers now make it so that I actually cannot run the node again. Oh, by the way, chat. So like down here in the lower left, you can actually pet the dog. Okay? So like don't let anyone tell you that you can't. So for instance, here is his face when you don't touch him. Here is it when you are actually petting him. Okay? If you were a true fan, you would have found a way. I have found a way. It just takes time, chat. That's no excuse. Understandable. Have a nice day. Yes, pet the Doge, chat. Well, we're still not at cap yet, so let's go ahead and tend to Bakin in the meantime. So units that I don't have leveled up all the way. Oh, right. This is going to take Rider Embers. Ah! I did not think about that. We've also got a new caster here, so let's go ahead and dump all the relevant same class embers in. Wow, the fact that that is actually just straight up enough to get him there. I didn't even need all the embers to get Zhang all the way to his first ascension. A mistake was made, yeah. No, and part of the reason why, chat, part of the reason why I'm not like attempting very hard to like min-max people, we know we have anniversary coming. We know we have a 3 times success rate. So like I am probably going to like dump the embers I have right here in my immediate inventory, level Bakin all the way up with my stored embers, and everybody else that's not maxed is sitting there because we have 3 times success coming. So I'm just going to abuse that. My Charlie is still level 50. The fun of leveling low stars. No, it's not even something like that for me. It's like I just actually don't need the units right now. That is quite literally the issue. And since Bakin basically had no 4-star with her, at least nobody knew, it allows me for a sort of like free ride, so to speak. It's nice how few embers they need. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a same class ember here to finish it. If that's the case, let me just double check here real fast. Okay, so it would still take 3 of another. Yeah, we will actually go ahead and use the rare Lancer ember there, because right now, like, essentially earlier units are free embers for me. So like since I've been basically almost going left to right with 120ing people, I kind of have like free reign basically. Two bacons, yep. Double baconated. I haven't had a double baconated in a while because I've been on vacation, so I haven't gone to Wendy's in a hot minute. Yeah, see, this is to me probably my favorite ascension for her. And just so you guys can actually hear her voice, I did not unfortunately turn it on for the rolls. You guys can also see that I have gotten some rider embers. So we're going to go ahead and throw in a half stack here because, again, she can always proc, and if she does, then I would be basically wasting a ton of embers if I didn't otherwise allow it. Let's go ahead and back out the last one, and there you go. It looks like yet again another one will actually work, so we'll go ahead and do that. Essentially, I am stretching my embers here because I don't have an actual need for the Lancer 5-star embers at the moment. So it is sort of a free ember for me to use. Do you have all the mats for the trauma units? No, in that case I actually don't, but I do need to like sit down and get it. And that is probably something that I will do after Hakenden pre-anniversary, because I have like nobody's strengthenings or interludes left to do. So I will spend some time there. That will not be long enough to get obviously everything, but it's going to start that process, and any dead time that we have is going to start going towards that. So I'm not really in a hurry because I don't need another single like material until the end of the year where we start getting like LB7 stuff, which technically not even until January because you can't farm it until it's done. Are we going to have some downtime after this event? Maybe, right? Because like it's entirely possible, and I say in between that we are probably going to get hunting quests, so that is going to be a bit of an issue. What the heck? What the heck? I don't know why it chose such haphazard embers there. So again, you will see me just kind of cut the stack here over and over again, just to see if I... It's sort of like proc fishing. If I get the proc, I get the proc. If I don't, I don't. Also... Yeah, sometimes you can actually get away with less embers. Okay, so this is not the case. Yeah, we have hunting quests and like a bunch of summer banners and then the anniversary. Now that we're getting an actual summer event, it's just rerun of old summer units. A Shiba Inu, a Spitz, a Golden Retriever, another Shiba, a Corgi, a Husky, a Bernese, and a German Shepherd. Are you asking what all the different dog breeds are? Yes, I am partial to the Husky. The Husker Floof, chat. Oh damn, I didn't realize Bakin was this many people in one. Was that a dog growling or was that her stomach? I hope that it was a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Lots of lore in this one. Yeah. Okay. Now we're technically out. Real quick, we're going to back out here. This is me just penny pinching embers is why. It is filtered to only my inventory. Let's go look at second archive. I have no built up rider embers in the second archive. So this does mean that all embers are fair game now. There are no 4-star all embers at the moment in my inventory. Go ahead and grab some of these right out of the mailbox so that it doesn't keep bloating. All these login embers are fair game and sort of free real estate. Let's see if anything is coming close to expiring. The closest is a 5-star stack at 137 days. I'm not worried about that. We have less time until the actual anniversary, so we're just going to go ahead and pull out some of the normal 4-star stacks here. Okay, that should be plenty. Go ahead and throw it into Bakin. Time to see if the internet's gonna work. It won't. I'm sorry. Some plot elements you may know from animes like Dragon Ball and Inuyasha. It's thanks to Hikkenden. Yep. I do find that really, like, awesome a little bit. Gonna bounce and go watch Blade Runner. Nice. I'll assume my Bakin was leeching some off of you. Sure. You can always assume that. Don't worry. I'll leech back. Make sure you come back to stream. Gathering up orbs to summon and being a great power to grant you wishes of some shit or something like that. Yeah, 100%. Win, thank you for the 63. Appreciate it. It is indeed that time again. And thank you guys for staying through all the rolls. I know that it was not the like most eventful rolls in that regard. The gathering of allies in your journey to battle a big evil. I would say that's not unique to Hikkenden though. Like that's certainly a theme, but this is quite literally the like archetype of the hero's journey, chat. So like that is absolutely a thing that is like not unique to Japan, not unique to the West. It is unique to all of storytelling. So it's not unique at all, right? That was a lot of rolling. It do be like that. Gathering allies just seems like common sense, yeah. My problem is I don't have enough foes saved up for all the SSRs and SRs coming in at summer. Well, that's also why I'm not like in a hurry to like spam some of this out. I do have some higher priority units, and I would prefer to like hoard my foes for a little bit and then make my choices rather than like just dump everything. Man, I still didn't pull out enough. Oof, there goes that 16 stack. Okay, hopefully 2 more whole stacks should be enough, but it probably won't be. Though, granted, I have really just like not had any procs when leveling her here. Your favorite event of this year so far for NA or JP or both? For NA? Let's see. What have we had for NA events? All of this blends together in my head, chat. So let's see. We just had the Grail Front. We had Trom. We've had a ton of advanced quests. We had the Mississippi Mythithizers event. We had Sea Monster Crisis. We had Tesla Fest. The Bespectacled Testicles event, aka White Day. Valentine's with Mananan McClear. And then the Case Files rerun. To me, that's a pretty clear choice. And the answer is Sea Monster Crisis. Sea Monster Crisis, I just thought like actually had the most like interesting stories so far. Sleepy, thank you for the 11 months. I am doing well. How are you doing? Bakin to me is a decent arts writer, but someone I ain't gonna roll actively. That's fine. I don't think anyone has to roll Bakin. I think Bakin is just a very like good unit, but at the end of the day, everyone has the capability of like getting Habitrot, so it's definitely not like a hey, you gotta do this type of thing. Okay, so obviously we've got Bakin's charge. This is the 30% with the Star Bomb. So this is an automatic lore. And then the second skill is the targeted one. That's really asking to get lured, because it also lowers the cooldown and is just fairly strong. Dagon as a servant would be kind of cool. I'm not sure I like his appearance, but like, yes, I do feel like that could be a cool concept. I forgot to do the final Grail Front because of work, but otherwise good. My buddy, one of my buddies basically ended up not getting the final one done. So we found out that if you are in a Grail Front, if you're mid progress when maintenance happens, it actually kicks you out. So like you would have to be in a battle to preserve the battle, but otherwise it will kick you out and say the event is over. You would quite literally have to be in the battle having gotten all the chests to repel the final servant for you to not lose the Grail Front, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So I think to be on the safe side, chat, I probably take her to 1099. I don't remember if that was my plan for her. but screw it. And then I will revisit the lures soon. Because the other thing is too is I want to ride high on my QP since I know I'm gonna have 120 projects here. So I don't want to like spend too much. Especially since I have several other units here that are not worked on yet. That's what I did, yeah. I think the biggest issue here is actually the mirrors, and that's like it is what it is. But I will recoup those mirrors, and it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Actually, hold on. Let's see. Out of the units that I still have to level, I actually do have some caster embers, but I think I'm better off saving those. I have like no fucking saber embers. And Zerker, we're actually okay. We could probably finish Creamhild with that. So the real problem is going to be saber embers, but saber is paired with rider, and y'all already know I need to farm rider embers. So it's like, I'm not too worried about getting these two done. I will straight up just have overflow embers from that whole escapade. So what is your strategy to getting materials? I'm afraid to use my apples. So I always try to fully complete events as best as possible. When I say fully complete events, I mean don't waste AP. Make sure you spend all your AP down every day. Clear the event shop of all the things you need. And the reason why is because, again, like, there's just super good stuff in here, and it is usually efficient to get this as opposed to like farming, right? Because again, like, for instance, think about how much AP it would take you to get 10 mirrors outside of the event versus like in the event, it's actually not going to take you that much. That's basically like saying, okay, you need 300 of the currency. If you have good bonus, you'll get that in like 2 to 3 runs. If you don't, you might get that in like 6 runs or something like that, which even at like 40 AP per chat, you're looking at like 240 AP to get that. In order to get 10 drops, you might be able to get it at that amount, but odds are you would have to get exceedingly lucky to get it in that amount of AP. So they give decent QP drops. Better to wait for half cost like at any. I would say that's probably your best strategy overall. Hunting quests of embers, that too. So it's the other reason that I'm not like in a hurry, because I'm gonna end up with inventory problems, chat. So it's like it'll be a thing, and I'll just be like, okay. Now the good news is I can basically just sit here and go like, wee. Now that I have MLBs, this should actually make quote unquote finishing the event here rather easy. So I'm going to turn it on. No, let's not turn it on MLB only, but I'm going to filter it down here. I have no idea how much I want the points versus how much I want the... You know what? I think I do want the points on support. 1, because I don't have them, and 2, because basically getting shop clear now with all the... Like, I'm almost max bonus for everything. Should not be hard. So I think at this point, I'm just going to probably sit on point C, as that makes the most sense here. We're going to throw Bakin in there, as she is just relatively easy and should be high damage, especially with her being in P2. I probably actually do need to go unlock her append, but I'm not super worried about this at the moment. Okay, bye, Charlie. Charlie is at least bond level 5. I probably need a bond level 2 for this. Or sorry, a rarity. A 2-star. God, what is my brain doing? Just because. Oh, no, it looks like the 3-star will in fact fit. I will take that. I can also actually fit a 1-star back here as well. At that point, screw it. Give me Mary Anning. Because she is probably the only 1-star I don't have bonded all the way. So she goes in the back line. I have not really worked on her skills. Don't hate me, chat. I'm sorry. In fact, in that regard, we're actually going to go ahead and put her up front because I can sub her in for some additional performance. Any update predictions for this Annie? When I actually sit down and look at like that stuff, when we actually begin to go over it, I will. But as it stands right now, no, not really. Yep, and that's 3 turns. That's 3 turns and a ton of stuff. So hilariously enough, I've got like just a ton of like tricolor buffing going on right here. Here, I'll turn sound on for the NP chat. Too low to have event damage. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I haven't heard any reports of that myself, so I'll trust Avalon if he's actually run the numbers, but I haven't looked at it myself. Okay. Perfect refund. And I actually didn't look at the NP damage there. But again, this is not like me running a like crazy setup. I am running this with a K-scope and a non-optimized second support with no third support. So the fact that I'm doing 482 is actually pretty good. Like, I don't think that's that crazy, but we shall see. I am waiting basically for the better nodes to unlock. Critting for only 10k when Castoria is also critting for 10k seems quite off. Did you have her buffs up? Wait, hold on. Did I actually have enough? I actually have enough. We can buy one of those. We got Hato Breaker. We're gonna go ahead and slap that into the comp because that is gonna be better than one of the non-MLBCs here. I say that as I don't pull it out of my mailbox. Oh God! Forgive me, chat. Oh God! Oh, this one's actually hard to pick. What the hell? I think it's the night metals. Oh, Oh man, chat, I had more tickets and shit. I probably didn't need to wail as hard. This is what happens when you only care about embers. The fact that I bought this and just never pulled it out. It's been sitting in my mailbox for 3 days. And I'm still not going to pull it out, chat. There's my 6.5 completion CE. Oh my god. You know what? Hold on. Select all, take out experience. Okay, so that basically is everything. I just had an Odysseus Rongbow. Odysseus is still really good, especially if you don't have him, but general I suspect you do, so I understand. NP charged at 30%, so we'll go ahead and actually just slot that in there because I think I can probably handle it. But this is going to require some machinations. So we're going to go down over here to the appends. We're going to go over to Bakin. We're going to unlock this append. She is a 30% charger, chat, so it makes a whole lot of sense to just go ahead and lure this sucker up. I have not looked at the materials. If it takes 6.5 mats, I may be screwed, but this is actually one of those deals where, like, it just is something that I pretty much immediately wish to lure. He ran the numbers, never mind, it was within the damage range, actually. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So, like, again, like, I don't know if you had the buffs on or something, but, like, I can see how, like, without a lot of her damage buffs that it could happen. But I guess it does depend, right? But that's not that bad. Sweet. Okay, so just immediately get to lure the append. Definitely works out pretty nice. Let's also go ahead and we're going to change her ascension form just to let you guys see her in the other form. So unfortunately, charge here is going to be a problem. I'm just trying to debate how I want to do this, because I don't think she's gonna, like, full refund, quote unquote. I think this is quite literally just that, yeah, and then I don't think this does anything for party. Slightly increase MP gauge and increase critical strength for all allies. Is it 10%? It is. All right, that's ideal. Chat, we got that meta loop going on here with our Ruler Da Vinci and our our Mary Anning as a support. Why is Anning silver? Don't worry about it. She's silver in your heart, chat. I only saw a video and it seemed low. I could probably tell you why, Avalon. But ask me after stream. Wow, is this actually going to be enough? Holy crap, if it is. Our Grailed Mary Anning support. Yes, that's why she's Grailed, chat. It's because of her support capabilities. This is clearly why. No other reason. Grailed out of solidarity of being a fellow Arturian enjoyer. Yes. There we go. She did. Holy crap. I cannot believe that Mary Anning was actually enough to tip this over. This actually made the loop work. Holy hell. Like, this should not work. The fact that it is just really nice. I mean, it's both a testament to Bakin being fairly good on refund, but also like, man, just it has no business actually completing this. It is basically single Castoria with some added like extra stuff in there. How would Bride compare? Bride would just make this probably doable without using either of the other two units. So it's a thing. That's all I can say. I'm probably also, chat, because these first couple nodes have a tendency to suck in any event. I am just going to milk the like gold one here and basically then say like, okay, like tomorrow when either the all one or the bronze one comes out, that's how I'll get the rest of my point Cs that way. Usually how I do it, and it usually works out really well for me. I don't try to get, unless it's a lotto, I don't try to get the CEs all on like day one. Okay. I'll try, yeah. I mean, do keep in mind, like, this is also me running with the point C and a maxed out mana loading. So like I'm basically starting at 50% charge, and I have just enough to actually make this work. Like, I think there's 1% to spare on this turn, and there's like 8% to spare on the next turn. So it's like 9% is my wiggle room here. I'm requested Yona. Manga's over soon. How good is Yona? Because I feel like I tried to watch it, and I just thought it was like okay. Like, I remember I didn't actually finish it. It's for girls. Wow. I liked it enough to read the manga after. Confirmed Avalon is actually a waifu. Yona develops quite a bit over the course of the story. Yeah, it may have just been that I didn't give it enough of a chance. This sort of thing happens to me all the time with anime. Just in general, it is very easy for me to like kind of go like, eh. Like just one of those things where it's like, I'm not sure like that it matters to me enough where I will continue to watch it over watching other stuff. But it also usually is a case of like I get busy, especially with work, and then I don't have as much time to watch. And then it becomes more of a like, you know, I have to cut things that are not the immediate like favorite of mine. Chat, we are actually going to go ahead and end stream here. I am going to see who all I can find on. I'm actually seeing a Mr. Fox on. He is doing the event, I believe. I'm gonna send you guys his way. Again, thank you guys for being here. We had planned to do Armored Core 6, but obviously we didn't get to it because the rolls took so long. But it be what it be, chat. It happens to me sometimes. Y'all know the drill. So We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow should be pretty chill. We're just going to be doing more basically on both servers. And then I also have the Baldur's Gate 3 Honor Mode run, which is almost done. I am in Act 3 and I have to take on Orin. So that's next up on that. So anyways, go give Mr. Fox my love. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you all for being here and have a good one.